A huge shout out to Magic Mind for sponsoring today's podcast. All right, guys. So y'all know that I am extremely busy, always on the go. And Magic Mind is actually a company that has been getting a lot of buzz. I believe even Joe Rogan said something about it on his podcast.
A new one they sent me called Magic Mind, and it's nootropics along with lion's mane and a bunch of functional mushrooms, and I like that one too.
So the company Magic Mind actually reached out to me, and I was like, you know what? Let's check them out. So I looked at a few of the reviews and everything online.
My first day on Magic Mind, I definitely noticed a big difference right off the bat. I noticed all the way throughout the day feeling much sharper, clear in the head, and ready to rock.
That's probably the most valuable thing. You know, as a knowledge worker, as someone who's working in front of the computer all day, you need that time where you're focused. And Magic Mind is a thing that really seemed to work for me.
So between some of the reviews that I've seen online, which was actually all positive, a lot of positive reviews online from their website, and also seen a few different reviews on YouTube. And the story was actually pretty interesting. So about a decade ago, James was on a stretcher because James was running a company. So, you know, with that, a lot of stress. He was drinking a lot of caffeine. And it turns out his heart had been beating at 175 beats for the last 3 weeks. Didn't even know it. So he was basically diagnosed with a heart condition because of all of that stress and that caffeine. At the time, he didn't have any other solutions, so he actually came up with one. So a few years ago, James actually came up with Magic Mind. This is supposed to be a natural way to help you out with a lot of those things that we struggle with throughout the day. So when it comes to Magic Mind, it's supposed to have a lot of those natural ingredients. So it has a lot of things that's going to help with focus, things that's going to help with energy. And a lot of us honestly need that throughout the day. And you also use Magic Mind for less stress throughout the day. So after reading those reviews and hearing and listening to his story, I messaged Magic Mind back and I was like, you know what? Send me some over. I'm curious. They end up sending some stuff over and I tried it out for the first day. And this is how that went. All right, guys, the time now is about 5:53 p.m. I get up early in the morning, man, so I'm a little bit on the drain side. And I have a podcast that I'm going to be doing at 11 tonight. Now, I don't want to take any naps because I still have a lot of work that I need to get done. So what we're going to do is we are going to try Magic Mind for the first time. All right. So I don't know if you're supposed to shake these things, but I'm gonna shake it up and then we're gonna try it. First time trying Magic Mind. All right. I'm gonna give a little bit of time for it to kick in before 11, so we'll see. Whoo, whoo. Man, that's a strong taste. Good grief. Whoa. Okay. All right. To be honest with you, it was strong like while I was tasting, but I believe that's something that I can probably get used to. I believe that's something I can actually get used to. Man, I don't know if, you know, it was the taste or what, but I do feel a lot more alert. And I'm telling you, that thing will wake you up. The taste, it will wake you up. So for you to see all of the real benefits and stuff from Magic Mind, they recommend that you use it at least for 5 days before you really get a feel for how well that thing works. I haven't made it to that point just yet. I'm only a day in, but I will give you guys an update a little bit later on to let you know how this journey has been for me. But there will be a link down in the description below for you guys to go and check out Magic Mind. Once you guys do order, y'all please tap in, comment down, and let us know how Magic Mind worked for you. All right. Until the next time, man, y'all be blessed, y'all be beautiful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Blueberry, Burberry, button-up. Tan skin, mixed race, buttercup. Canada weather, got a bundle up. I'm tryna work, she hit my phone, she wanna. Whoa, too bad was you know they roll.
What up? What up? What up? What's good? Yeah, said we in the show. What's good? What's good?
What's going on? What's going on?
Blessings, man. Blessings. We out here today. Out here riding around this beautiful city. What y'all been up to, man?
Man, well, me and the wife, we close on our house next Thursday. Uh, quickest process I've ever been in to sell the house that you're currently in to move into another one and close on your old one and close on the new one the same day. It's mind blowing, very mind blowing, but I'm happy about it.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, we got to give a shout out to your realtor, whoever that was, because you don't hear about that ever. I ain't even gonna say too often. I
Yeah,
never
mad.
heard.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
mad. Shout out to her. I like I said, I ain't no type of person. Like a lot of her people know how I am. Like I'm not really a sentimental guy and emotional, but I do really appreciate her what she did because like bro, like a person that just I I I don't really say that much about her, but I can honestly say she's good people and for her to pass her exam and then immediately help us out to get a house,
Wow.
sell it, and get a new one, I can't say how much I'm thankful for that, man. Honestly.
That's dope. That's what's up. What about you, T? What you been up to?
Ain't nothing that's on.
You saying nothing? What?
I just working hardly working.
That's what's up. That's it. You ain't got nothing to brewing in the tank or whatnot. What have you? Anything that you did today? Anything interesting or whatnot?
Going for a walk.
That's good. Yeah.
Man.
That's a perfect form of exercise. Oh, I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I get Grace. I forgot about this last week. But last week, I don't know if you remember, but normally on Fridays, me and Tina, we get together, we get a little workout in or whatever. I ain't gonna lie, I was
Hmm.
kind of testing. I was gonna see what she was gonna do or whatever. I was just sitting around, just chilling and whatnot. Like, hey, you ready to get this? Didn't say anything. She ended up taking matters into her own hand and getting her own workout in without. It was just a proud moment, man. It was a proud moment. I was like, look out. I'm digging it down.
Man, I tell you, man, like I promise you this week has been very chaotic and when Monday came and I saw what time I got off work and then I'm finding out when we closing and then we like packing and getting stuff situated, I was like, oh my God, I just missed my whole workout. And I was like, man, I'm finna go outside and run and do something. I gotta do something. But I
Are you
was like,
still?
man, go ahead.
That's what's up. You were still able to get a workout in. That's what's up, man. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But I was supposed to do it last week, man. I can't remember what was going on. What happened last week? I felt like it was a what were we reviewing last week, man? I don't know if it was there anything wrong with the stream? I don't know why I forgot, but I was supposed to give basically just give her flowers last week. That was my bad, man. That was my fault.
I think we all were dealing with technical difficulties last week.
It's so
That's the
good.
one. They don't start messing with the internet, boy. They don't start messing with the internet. Got to be
Yeah.
both careful, boy. Got to be both careful. So
I,
oh, go ahead.
I back, you guys.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I was doing some research. I know those of y'all know if everybody got a chance to see, but I actually switched the title and the thumbnail, and I got to make sure I get some credit to Code for that because I was trying to figure out. I was like, I knew it's something interesting that happened this week, but I had kind of forgot about it. It's been a lot. There's been a lot going on in the media, everything going on with the Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty much been taking over my news feed. And I don't want to continue to, you know, I don't know, what is it? Look a gift horse in the mouth or whatever it's called. It's like, yo, bro, I want to do something else. But yeah, he sent me the situation about Chad Ochocinco and his fiance. And I was like, oh yeah, yo, I just remembered it. So I was trying to brush up on all of that information in like a short amount of time because I had, pretty much been looking at content related to the topic that we'll be speaking about a little bit later on in the podcast. But I stumbled upon a young lady's channel. I can't remember because I always love to give credit back to the creator, the content creator, whatever. But she dropped a video.
What
And
does it? What does the first letter start with? With an R,
the creator, no, it's not a big creator. They got like maybe 16,000 subscribers.
bro? Because I think what you talking about is the same person I talk about. Because I think her channel starts with a. I think um, it's a Riva TV or something like that.
Oh, you talking about River? No, man. So actually, it's crazy you said something about River. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Like most of the stuff that River talks about, because we were actually supposed to do a video together, man, like a while ago, like maybe on my when I had my last channel. But I agree with a lot of things that she says. That's crazy, man. But River blew up. Like my first channel was actually growing a little bit faster than hers, but I was trying to invite her on because I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I love some of your talking points. We don't agree with everything, but I thought that we would be able to have like a decent conversation where we'll be able to, kind of hash out whatever differences that we do have about certain subjects or whatever. But yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, River, man. River TV. She's pretty decent with some of her talking points. But you were gonna say something about her?
Yeah, that because like I knew about it when it was addressed initially when it first came out.
Yeah.
And like ever since that came out, I steady watching Nightcap to see what if you see any change in Chad. Because one
Mm.
thing I noticed, because I know he does stuff for the NFL, but I
Mhm.
started noticing his scenery was different. Like one moment he'll be somewhere else. One of the podcasts of Nightcap, he was in his actual house where they stay
Mhm.
together, and then the next moment he was somewhere else. So
Mm.
I was trying to check and see what was going on because
Yeah.
obviously I know Chad's hurt because he said it himself. But
Yeah. Yeah. We gonna really dive into that once Tina gets situated or whatever. Because it I was trying to make sure that I looked at all the ins and outs and whatnot, but I ended up stumbling on this creator, man, that I was like, listen, I think that your content is dope, but I do feel like the information that you're giving people is it's not positive. It's a little bit more on the negative side, man. And I'm always willing to have a conversation. I'm always open to the possibility that I am wrong. So we can always have a conversation about, whatever it is that I'm saying. But I was just like, because at the end of the video, great content on up until this point. She was like, yeah. Because like I told you, ladies, you know what I mean? Like, you got to make sure you get yours. And you know what I'm saying? She won. She got everything that she needed. I'm just like, whoa, man, wait a minute. Now, if this was just a relationship, if it was just a business type of relationship, I understand where you're going with this. But they were not only romantically involved, they were engaged. And the biggest thing about all of this is they brought a child into this world. And when you say she won, do you not realize what you saying she won about like leaving a relationship and being able to, leverage whatever, their relationship, his likeness, her likeness, in order to be able to get a bag. But ultimately, that child is growing up in a broken home. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna have that mother and father dynamic in the home. And so this young lady did what a lot of people always like to do, which they always try to zoom in on the minority and not the majority. Because what she was trying to say is, children, there are some people out here that do have two parents in a household, and they're growing up in toxicity. You know what I mean? The father is a bad guy, is a no good dude or whatever, and the mom is just sitting there and just taking it. Again, man, these Tyler Perry TV shows, they always try to make a point, or Tyler Perry movies, they always try to make a point and try to make it seem like just because you have a small minority of people that this happens to, that this makes it the rule. No, that's the exception. Because if you go and look at the facts, data, and statistics, you will see that children do better in a two-parent household, meaning the mother and the father are in the same house. Those children tend to do a lot better in life. And we can go through, as far as being successful, as far as not creating other broken homes, you know what I mean? Like, you can put college, like, their whole outlook on life is completely different. And they do a lot better when it comes to actually being in those and staying in those type of relationships, because they actually seen it growing up, and they know and they understand, like, and they understand the family dynamic. And they want to be able to, hey, if my mom and my dad were able to do it, I want to see if I can duplicate the exact same thing. And we kind of got into a little back and forth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, at the end of the day, I think if we really look at this thing from a logical perspective, I mean, it's not really hard to tell who was right and who was wrong. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was one of the conversations that I had got into that actually kind of stopped what I was doing, man, because I was getting a lot of key details and information about some things that has happened in their past, in her past, in his past, or whatever. Because to be honest with you, I didn't even know that Chad Johnson had like a lot of children. I thought he only had like maybe one or two kids. I also didn't know that, because he hasn't been married uh outside of this young lady, has he? Has he gotten a divorce, or was it just, girlfriends?
Apparently, they said he was, but I don't think it. I don't. I wouldn't have considered him a marriage if it was not. If it didn't last that long.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were saying like this was the longest that he was actually with somebody. And they were only together like a year or two. It was short, I thought. Right?
Mm-mm.
Can't remember, man. But yeah, that was one of the conversations that I was having, man. I also, for the first time, I want to go ahead and apologize to my brother. My brother has been my barber for probably going on 2 decades, I believe, before my uncle stopped cutting my hair because, he was working all them doggone jobs. But I actually had the opportunity to sit in a real live barber shop. And when I tell you, man, I ain't gonna lie, I do miss being in the atmosphere. It was an older lady that was in the chair when I walked into the shop. I guess the guy that I was speaking with earlier was like the owner, and then it was a guy that did like security or something like that. He had been in the army. It was an army vet that was in there, and just a few other guys, and we were having a conversation about a lot of different things. I kind of injected myself into the conversation, but we were speaking and talking about 50-50, and just hearing like different guys like ideas about like going 50-50 and stuff like that, man. It really like opened my eyes to how a lot of older men think. And I think most of the time when I'm going out and I'm speaking, most of the time it's to guys pretty much around in my age group, maybe a little bit younger. But these were like older guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, some dudes that's been married for like 20 years. Some guys have been knowing their wives since middle school. And just to hear like that type of dialogue, I was like literally blown away. So one of the conversations that was had was, if your wife is making, I want to say, I think they said like $250,000 per year, would you be a stay-at-home dad? And I'm gonna tell you right now, it was two people in that entire barbershop that agreed, and everybody else was pretty much on the other side. What do you think, Cole? If your wife was making $250,000 per year, would you then make the choice to be like a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home husband, or something like that?
To be honest with you, no, because I feel like for myself, if I was like a lot of guys said, if they were afforded that opportunity, they would take advantage of it, but they're not looking at the grand scheme of everything. Where, for me, like I feel like if you give me the opportunity to become a stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home husband, I most definitely think that um when I think of that, um I'm thinking of like I feel like you lose that control is because I feel like the power at B will be in the woman's hands
Okay.
because you're gonna feel like, all right, if I'm a stay-at-home dad, she's gonna try to tell me what to do. And if we get into an argument or say something out the way, a woman can emotionally say,
I
I
think
think
I
I,
think.
I think
Oh, go
oh
ahead.
go ahead.
I think
I
your
think your
camera.
camera
I mean,
I
not
mean
camera,
not
but your
camera, but your
audio.
audio.
Hello.
Hello?
All right,
All right,
Kobe, you
Kobe, you
can
can
mute
mute
yourself because
yourself
I'm
'cause I'm
hearing
hearing
heck of
heck
the
of the
echo.
echo.
Can you hear me, bro?
All right, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like if I was afforded the opportunity to do that, like it'll be a great thing. It'll be a great thing, but I feel like I have to contribute in some way. Like I can't do it. I just feel like for me, I can't do it. But if it's the other way around, oh yeah, my wife would have took advantage of it.
So you think it's better basically if the power is in the man's hands rather than it be in the woman's hands? Like as far as, well,
Yes.
just yeah, and money and everything goes.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think it's because, like, well, I'll let you explain. Do you is it because men are you believe they're more like logical thinking and they're used to, or maybe they're better at dealing with money and power and stuff like that versus a woman?
Well, I would most definitely say sometimes in situations guys are not good with their money.
Okay.
I would most definitely say that in some cases guys are not good with their money, and and sometimes women women are not good with their money either, because just like, okay, a woman can say like, you spend money like a woman can tell a guy like, hey, you spend money on yourself to take care of your needs, to keep you like, keep your appearance up. But like, if you look at it, what we spend is not what they spend.
No. No.
Like, of course, like the price of haircuts have gone up, yes, but that's just depending on who you're dealing with.
That
Like
part, yeah.
on average, we might spend about 20 to 40 bucks on a haircut, maybe even 50. But that in itself is not crazy. Where if you have a woman that has to get her nails done, that in itself could be 150, maybe
Yeah.
even two, depending
Right.
on who you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about getting their hair done, that could be 180 to 250. And so like you gotta understand, like us men upkeeping ourselves is not breaking the bank. So like when you hear a woman say like I gotta get my nails done, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done, you be like, oh, all right, well I know how much that's gonna be
Arm and leg.
because I feel like if you think about it, I feel like guys, I feel regardless of how a person is, like they might be a terrible boss or they may not like you might not disagree with the stuff that they do in a male boss, but I guarantee you a person will rather work for a male boss than a female boss.
I just heard that. I believe River was actually saying something similar to that, man. She was, and it was actually even coming from the women. They were like, "Listen, if I know, and I'm not going point fingers at any race, but they basically said, listen, if I go into an interview and I see that I'm just gonna say another young lady sitting across from me, then I already know either if I do get the job. In most cases, they say they feel like they don't. If I do get the job, it's gonna be a lot of like bumping heads and tension and things like that
And
in the working.
pettiness. And pettiness.
Mm. Do y'all do y'all think y'all think women that have influence and power, do y'all think that they're a little bit more petty? That's actually I think that's a relevant question, because if we look at the Chad Johnson situation, you know what I mean, or Chad Ochocinco situation, when they got into it or when they fell out or whatever, she said some stuff online. Again, I'm trying to wait till Tina get back in here before we jump into that I think came across extremely petty. When I've honestly seen, especially in these last few years, men be so freaking mature after a breakup. It is so crazy, man. Like, and I'm thinking about the Tia and the Corey Hardrick situation. How much she done been out there and pretty much been bashing him, and this dude still has not said anything negative about her. Even when you have like a person like Tasha K, pretty much like baiting them, setting them up like, hey, I'll bring you onto the platform and you can pretty much speak your mind about this situation, bro.
Whatever.
You need to say something. Like, she out here bashing you. You need to, you know what I'm saying? You need to defend yourself. And he was like, you know what? I'm not even into all of that, man. I'm not even into the going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put on my big boy drawers and I'm gonna handle this like a man. And most of
Bro,
these breakups, I've honestly seen a lot of that.
bro, it's another thing that happened too. Like it
Mm-hmm.
came out this week. Like talking about the maturity and everything of learning by like just taking the just going in a opposite direction of what that situation is. Like Tom Brady. Tom Brady went through the same thing this week.
I want
Like,
to talk about this. Hey, I want to talk about this on the next podcast, but we can go ahead and get into it. That Tom Brady situation.
yeah, like they just found like they they talk they put it out. It was on Nightcap. They said the same thing. They said it on Nightcap. Tom Brady's Tom Brady got divorced from his wife Giselle, and then
Mm-hmm.
she got pregnant.
Mm, mm.
And they said like
Nasty words.
Tom Brady could have went off about it, but he kept his cool.
Yeah.
And you can say because I don't like what one thing I don't like is when it comes to situations like this when it's dealing with a woman always says she's a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. But are you a leader? That's the main thing. You can call yourself a boss, but a boss and a leader is two different things.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't even think most of the people that are calling themselves, when I think about it, people that are in that boss category, they don't walk around saying I'm a boss. Most people that are like millionaires or make like they don't say those, like, I don't know. I just don't get that from most people. You do have some people out there that do that. And I think that's people that are immature and they're not used to being like on top like that. Because it's definitely a certain level of maturity that you need to have. But most of those people that are calling themselves boss and stuff, Like, bro, no, you're just a regular adult. Like, understand this. If you are going to work, paying your own bills, paying your own car insurance, your rent, your mortgage, your own phone bill, that's being an adult. That ain't being no damn boss. Okay, you're a functioning adult. You don't deserve no pat on the back or anything for that. Like, you're doing regular ish. A lot of people want to put this doggone extra word salad and add to, like, no, man. All that stuff that most people be talking about is just basic ish. You might take a vacation here or there, but you ain't really making no real boss moves. Most people.
Yeah, yeah, but if you gotta, but you gotta realize when it comes to situations like this, because when you see a woman, I'm saying all women, some women sit up there and say, I'm a, because I've heard, like, real say, I'm like, I'm like, yeah, you run a company, but I always, if I can say it myself, I would tell a woman, don't call yourself a boss, call yourself a leader, because it's two different things. Because when you call yourself a boss, you exude power, and it's power that you cannot, it's power that you can't, it's a power that can get out of control, and it can get to your head. Because a leader is humble, and they know how to show guidance and lead their team, and know how to be a mentor and stuff like that. If you just a boss, you just there to make your money, call not gonna be, and leave it at that. I just believe that when it comes to that, and I'm not saying all women are going, not all women are like this, but I just most definitely think when they exude power, it gets to their head, and it spirals.
Yeah.
You just gotta look at it and see, like, it happens.
Yeah, most people
Cause
most people
I
can't
think,
handle power, man. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, cause like you tell me if I'm wrong when I say this. I feel like men as a boss don't look for recognition. They don't look for acknowledgement. They don't look for um like, they don't go out here and be like, because sometimes if you listen to like a woman speaking to her man, if she say like, babe, I feel like you're not doing this, like, you used to buy flowers but you're not buying me flowers, or you don't compliment me no more, or you don't say I look this way, you don't say I look that way. I feel like, in a sense, I get, sometimes you gotta reinsure your lady, like, hey, you're beautiful, whatever the case may be. But sometimes when it comes to a woman being a boss, she looks for the recognition. She wants to be told that, hey, you're being recognized for this and this and this. They can go to a boss and be like, hey, I do everything you ask me to do, but you don't tell me thank you. I do all this, but you give me no recognition for it. But us as men, we don't look for that. We earn it.
Yeah, I think in mass, I will agree to a certain extent. I think in mass, I think that like that reassurance and basically like you were saying, like telling me that I did a good job. I think that they look for it a lot more often than guys do. Like men, we are cool with again acknowledging that we did a good great job or whatever, but we don't expect it as much. Like we think like, okay, I'm gonna keep my head down, work for these 30 to 90 days or whatever, and if some gratitude comes along with that, then cool. You know what I mean? But I think when it comes to I guess women or whatever, they look for it maybe a little bit more often than maybe guys do. So I can understand what you're saying when it comes to that point. And when they don't get it, when some of them, I'm not again, not every. This doesn't apply all across the board. But again, if we're speaking about majority, we're speaking about a mass or whatever. Especially if I'm going based on the things that I see, every day content on all these different social media platforms. You hear a lot of people basically, or a lot of young women looking for more validation for this. I need validation for a lot of things. Anytime I do a good job, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder. You ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing about me cleaning that damn room up yesterday. I need
Mm.
I need that. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm not doing. That's too much damn work. I'm not. I don't think I have ever been that person. Like, listen, if you do an excellent job or whatever, I'm gonna let you know that you did an awesome job. You know, and that's with anybody. Because I pretty much I put everybody almost in the well, I ain't gonna say almost. I put everybody in the same category when it comes to a lot of different things. Like when it comes to assurance, you know what I mean? Like I'll praise you, or I ain't gonna say praise you, but I'll let you know when you did a great job, when you went above and beyond, or when you just did the thing that you're supposed to do or whatever. You know, I give you a doggone pat on the back and tell you, keep going, man. Love the fact that you putting forth effort. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to do it, but the fact that you are doing it and you're not looking, because that's another thing, man. I'm going to respect a person a lot more that's not necessarily looking for that validation. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm working because I'm supposed to work, because I need to work, because I'm trying to add value to myself or to others. And I think those people honestly deserve more recognition than those people that actually go out here doing it just to get the recognition, because it's a lot more genuine. Tina, you should be back in the building now. We can get into this. What's good?
Yes, I'm here.
What up? What up? What up? All right, all right. So we can go ahead and jump on into this topic. So, uh, let's just go ahead and dive into it, man. We can pretty much just put it all out there, like all the information that I've gotten from the situation. Again, Chad Ochocinco just recently, well, I ain't gonna say he did, but his ex-fiance now, according to what she said, have recently broken up. And she put it out there. She publicly put it out there. If you want to go ahead and throw that screenshot up, it's one of those pictures, and it's her on Twitter. You might have to share the entire screen, but yeah, it's her on Twitter. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that there was a lot of people tagging her. I really don't. I don't think the reason why she shared this tweet was because people kept tagging her. I think that when someone wants to make sure that, of course, it's known or whatnot, because I mean, when you're in the public eye like this, technically you kind of want to get ahead of everybody else, like putting stories out there about like your relationship. So you want to put it out there. So that I understand, but don't be petty about it. I think she was a little bit more on the petty side with this. As soon as Tina, did you share the entire screen real quick, put it up there.
Like that?
Uh,
No.
I don't see anything.
Okay, hold on. Working on something. Okay, backtrack for me.
It's basically like you share the entire screen. It should, as soon as you go up there to present, it should say something about share the entire screen.
Okay.
Kobe, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Yeah, so you can just give us your thoughts on what you've seen thus far. We got some comments too.
I think it's embarrassing, bro.
Hmm.
Chad kind of said it himself, like, because I feel like if she didn't ever say anything about it, Chad was not gonna say nothing about it, because
No.
he literally was like, he kind of addressed it a little bit, but he pretty much said he's like, uh, it was something along the lines of like, if our relationship is public and our breakup is public, like, and he just, because he said he was hurt, and he said like
Mhm.
he said like he's in some he said it's hot, it's real hot right now, and Shannon told him like, hey, give her some time, and
Yeah,
he literally said like, he's like, oh, like, it's bad.
yeah. And again, we don't really know what happened, right? We can only go based on the thing that we've seen, and of course, we can throw some speculations or our opinions and stuff out there. And that's what we're gonna do. Trust and believe, we're gonna get into it. But you know, Chad and I are no longer together. This is the tweet that she dropped on Twitter or whatever. And again, this was out of nowhere. Again, I don't think everybody was pretty much tagging her, but this is what she said. She said, Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. This last part. He he is a free man, ladies. Come on, man. Like you could have just left it at that. Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. Bam. That's professional. That's respectful. We could have easily just kept it at that. But no, we're gonna take it a step further and say he free. He's a free man, lady. So it was a young lady that got right up under there after she tweeted that she said, she commented, she was like, thank you. You know, I'm pretty much about to jump in his DMs now. I'm pretty much summing everything up or whatever. And so I guess she was in her feelings or whatever, because listen, that's an eligible bachelor, man. Eligible bachelor, you know, not a bad looking guy, you know, got resources, you know, has a lot of influence or whatever. You think women ain't gonna jump? Like, come on, man. So again, she jumped up under there and responded to the young lady and said something about, I hope you don't catch something. What did she say, Kobe? Do you remember exactly what it was?
She said, either I think she said okay. She said, I just hope you don't catch anything. And I think and like I guess she did that. I think that girl said it. Maybe she literally said it just because she said on the slide of the DM for real, or it's
Yeah.
because she knows that how she got at Chad is slide in his
DM.
DM.
Right. Right. You should have been telling yourself that from the jump. While you were already married to somebody else.
And you cheated on your husband with
That part.
Chad.
That part. That's what I'm bugging out about. You got the nerve to try to say something about somebody when, was this not you a year and some change ago? Doing the exact same thing? Like, listen, I'm about to pull a you. I'm about to pull a you and make a nice little come up. You know what I'm saying? And again, man, it really is. Like, I joke around a little bit, but it is unfortunate the fact that they do have a child together. You know, they do have a daughter that they did have together, man. So definitely not poking fun and trying to make light of that situation, because that is very, very serious. You know what I mean? But come on, fam. Don't try to get mad because, you know what I'm saying? Listen, you come a dime a dozen. The type of young lady that she is come a dime a dozen. And I'm speaking about the mindset. Somebody that was moving like she was moving. That's willing to step out on your husband, inbox another guy, and sleep with somebody else while you were still married. Come on, man. Like what we doing?
And
Now,
you
Tiana,
and you said that you wish you would have walked away a bit earlier than what you could have.
what
Like she
situation?
like when she got on a podcast and she stated when she addressed that she cheated on her husband with Chad.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, if you did that, then why didn't you like leave when you could have left a lot sooner?
Mm-hmm.
But
Fact.
instead, you cause hurt on your ex husband, where now y'all don't communicate.
Mm. Bad. Yeah, all bad. He don't even rock with you like that, man. He probably, and I ain't gonna say he didn't know, because like, I do believe that again, people have like little telltale signs or whatnot, but just to know for a fact, you to come out and say this on a public platform that you stepped outside your marriage, like you, girl, you got some balls, because you got a lot of businesses that, you know, customers and stuff are seeing this, and it's a lot of people that are not going to support your business just based on, you know, the type of character that you're displaying on this public platform. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is your podcast. You ain't have to share that damn story. You could have kept that mess to yourself. But the fact that you got the balls to share that on this doggone public platform, like, yeah, no, I'm good, man. Any business that I had with this individual, you know, and did she have children before she got with Chad?
She might. I might have to do a little bit of research, but I think she does have a kid with her
ex-husband, if I'm not mistaken, because look, this also put some light on this too.
Mhm.
She was in the military.
Yeah, I did know that. Now listen, she physically fit. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, she look like she work out all the damn time.
Yeah,
For
and
real.
and it's cool. But
Like a
my thing
sergeant or
is,
something, right?
yeah, because I think she did like she said she did like tours in Afghanistan and stuff like that. And respects to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But like I feel because like in the moment, Chad probably didn't realize it in that exact moment. But just to hear him tell me like I'm a stay-at-home husband, I'm a stay-at-home husband or stay-at-home father, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
And he said, and maybe I don't know if he was joking. Don't say that I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying that this is the truth,
Hmm.
but he willingly jokes about it, but he might have been serious when he said that she trying to get him to sign a prenup. So if she decides she wants to leave, she don't gotta give him nothing.
Oh, wait a minute. So, who make more money?
Well, at first, if you realize Chad really wasn't doing anything, like of course he was doing stuff for like Madden and stuff, but
Yeah.
when him and when Shannon came up with the nightcap stuff,
Hmm. Money
you know,
increased.
money increased, and then he
Okay.
got more opportunities to do NFL Live and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. So stuff starts to happen for him. But
Gotcha.
like, because even I watched also because Rivers said something about it too. It was a interview that Corey Holcomb did talking about the whole situation and saying something along the lines of that like that she showed red flags in the beginning. Like she's like, "Yo, man is on a podcast, and then you try to intervene yourself in it." And he made a point that like once you give a lady an inch,
Hmm.
or once you give her the slightest bit of inch, she's gonna go a mile.
Yeah.
So I just think that it sucks. I feel like on her part, she showed a lack of maturity
Hmm.
because even you can say, regardless of how you put it, yes, you said she could have just said, "Me and Chad are no longer together, so stop tagging us."
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have done that. She could have said nothing at all.
Whoa. Hold. I want to address this. So break that down for us. Break that down, right? You said she probably did the right thing because I feel like this comment kind of relates to what I was speaking about earlier with the other creator that has about I think they had like 16,000 subscribers or whatever. Again, I can't remember exactly what the name of the YouTube channel was, but did the right thing. Again, from a business, if we're talking business, okay, cool. But when we start talking about personal, when we start talking about relationships, when we start talking about bringing kids into the situation, it changes big time. If this is a business thing, and I still feel like it is a certain way how you need to carry yourself and conduct business. Because honestly, this wouldn't even be when I think about it, this wouldn't be a good way to go about doing business either, right? I do understand that she was able to leverage a few different things to make a little bit more money, to maybe gain a little bit more followers, be able to grow her platforms and maybe add some extra things to her resume or whatever. That's cool. But still, at the end of the day, man, there's a certain level of professionalism, in a certain way that you should carry yourself as a man or a woman, as a business person, or speaking in business or personal. There's a certain way that you need to carry yourself, and you're saying that she probably did the right thing by again breaking up and or creating a broken home. Because now, I mean, I don't know if it's official. I don't know if it's final. I mean, all this could be, jokes or whatever. But just going based on what we know right now, you're telling me the right thing to do for that child is to separate? I'm just asking. Chad still have money from the NFL? Yeah. And Chad was able to save what, like 85% of all the money that he made from the NFL. Again, all of that is cool, right? When we start talking about things from a money perspective, what I'm narrowing in on is children, man. Like children. When you bring a child into this world, somebody that didn't ask to be in this world, you bring them into the world, it just creates something completely different, man. Completely different. And when you make the decision to separate yourself from that father, that mother, or whatever, then I don't know, man. It's just I wouldn't say that that's the right decision. That's just my point of view. But yeah, I definitely want to hear. Let me know. Let me know. How in the world do you believe that she probably did the right thing? If we're taking all of those things into consideration. How old is the child? I don't know. She's like what, maybe 1, 2? I mean, they only been together for like a year, so the
She's
child can't be
two.
that old.
She's
Yeah,
two.
she's 2 years old. She's a toddler, and she's only known for them two to be together. She's only known for him to be in the household. Do you not understand what that's going to do to that child psychologically? Like, man, again, I don't think people really understand, man. Like what that's going to do to a child that's getting used or has gotten used to something to all of a sudden he's gone. Like breaking it down and explaining, because people always want to talk about my happiness and everything, man. But what y'all don't understand, I'm gonna take a page out of Poor Man's Podcast, like the real definition of love. Like it's some level of sacrifice that you have to make for love. And the question is, do you not love that child? Do you not want to provide or give that child the best, how can I put this, man?
Are you trying to say like give your children the best example to show what love looked like and to kind of
It was another word I was going for. Not just example, but give them the best options, man. Like if this option is available for us to put our child in the best schools, if we have that option, when we have the money in order to be able to resource to be able to put that child in the right, are we not going to do that? If I have the choice or to be able to give my child, allow my child to grow up in a two-parent household, am I not going to do everything in my power to at least try? Because if we look at most people aren't honestly trying. They're really not. I think that you have a lot of people that sit there and they say that they stay and they put up with a lot of ish. But I think that a lot of people go into it, or they're into it, and they're automatically just looking at it as a negative thing instead of looking at all of the positives that is going to come out of this. And like me, like, listen, I can work at one of the worst jobs in the world, but I'm always gonna look at it in a positive light. Like when I go to work, or when I go anywhere, I always try to put my best foot forward. I always try to look at the bright side of things. And every job that I have had outside of the hospital, but I think that was still a dope job because you got a lot of people that are passing away. But with that, I was still able to meet a lot of dope people, and again, it was still a dope job. I don't know. I just look at life completely different, man. I don't think that most people honestly like go into it like that, like just thinking about it like on a positive note, man. I don't think a lot of people honestly try. This is what black women want. Oh, uh-oh. No, Chad and his wife are selfish for that. But Chad didn't leave.
Chad
So
didn't say anything.
listen, again, I'm not saying that Chad is not at fault. Like he don't have any fault in this. But the one that pulled the trigger from what we are seeing, what we are hearing, is her. She made the choice. She made the decision. Unless she comes out and say anything else. Because listen, she done talked about this on her podcast or whatever, and everything. And she like, yo, from what I've seen, basically, you read between the lines. I had to lead that man. I don't know if it was because he was cheating. I don't know if because he stepped out. I don't know if it's because she stepped out or she just felt like she could do better for whatever reason or whatever. But no, no, we got to make sure. Listen, man, we call a spade, fam. And it's really because they always try to say that what is it? We both came to the agreement. No, whose idea was it to separate, man? It wasn't just somebody had to come to the other person and just be like, hey, let me go ahead and throw this out there. Black women don't want a whole family. Oh, they want to be unchallenged. They want to be the unchallenged king of their environment. Only non-black men can give them instructions. Oh, oh Lord. Who want to touch that? Who want to touch that? Tina, we ain't heard from you. What's going on over there? You
You don't do me like that.
gonna-
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm gonna just say I appreciate your opinion. Um, because I definitely, as a black woman myself, I do want a family, a whole family, not just mom over here, dad over there, grandparents, or even grandparents and cousins and uncles and stuff like that.
Are you trying to have
I
like a 8 bedroom, 10 bedroom house? No, I'm joking. My bad.
Or at least like just knowing that my village is close by. Like a state or two ain't too bad or whatever. But
Okay.
just knowing that I can actually come to my family when in good times or in crisis, being a whole, being a unit is definitely something that I strive for. I've always wanted that. Um Only nine black men can give them instructions.
Let her cook. I was about to say, yeah, go ahead and cook. Go ahead and cook.
Who to I mean to come to the unchallenged king. I feel like that's the what you hear on social media now. It's those modern women with I'ma just say it. I feel like with no guidance, no morals, almost darn near no home training, and they just feel like don't come they just they're lost and I mean, I give them I give them care and grace and my blessings that they'll find the way and, go down the path of the righteous path, the right path. Even though whichever path is for them, typically is for them, but for me, like I said, as a black woman, nah, I want the unit. I want the dang, who we got? That's the problem. It's like then it's not as many of them that you can look to. So like I want that to change. Like I want us to be able to raffle off families that shows those types of structures of you having the male leading, a black male, a strong male leading, and his woman right there beside him, and the kids trailing along.
Okay, okay, Cole. I think I heard you that you wanted to go.
I think, and I agree with Tina with what she's saying. I will also add is that you got you like you said, if you have women out here that are choosing you're gonna have some women out here that are choosing to be these independent. It's like you want to be independent, but you look for assistance. You say you're independent and you can hold your own, you can take care of yourself, but you look for, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm speaking facts. You want you want to say you're independent and you can hold your own, but you look for government assistance. You look for somebody to take care of you and your child. You you look for handouts and you make excuses for yourself to say, well, it's because of him that we're this way. No, you can't always put the blame on the man because you have men out here that are like legit trying to be a part of their kids' lives, but you're withholding that from him because of a payment. You got to pay to see your kid. When it comes to money, us as men, we don't see money as something that is like, yeah, we need money to take care of our families. We need money to do this and this in the world. But us as men, we could be like, we got to do our business. But at the end of the day, money doesn't, it's, I can't remember how it was said, but it just seems like when it comes to money, uh,
That shouldn't be a
like, you know how
reason
people
why
say,
you. Yeah, I don't think money should be a reason why you should keep someone from seeing their children. If the foot is on either foot, man. Because at the end of the day, again, every child need both of their parents, both
right.
of them, and the money shouldn't be an issue. Whether it's the guy that has full custody and the mom probably maybe don't have enough money to help out or whatever. Again, we put the shoe on the opposite foot, man. It just don't sound right. Like again, man, children need that doggone that nurturing and that motherly love. You shouldn't you shouldn't want to keep your child from being loved by their other parent. It makes absolutely no sense, especially if it's just about money. That's crazy.
Let me ask you this though, bro.
Mhm.
When it comes to like, kids being with parents and stuff, who would you think would be close? Who's the first choice that you would think that will bash the parent first? Because sometimes do you ever really hear men bashing their kids' moms?
Um, I'm gonna say I think that's a two-part question. Hey, Tina, can you put the last comment up there? I want to make sure we kind of put the comments up there so people let people know that we're gonna answer. We're gonna get to that. I will say this, man. Like early on, right? Early on, I think that a lot of children have been brainwashed to believe that, the reason why uh, that your dad is not here is because he don't want to be, is because he's a deadbeat, is because he don't love you. And I think that later on in life, a lot of children that grow up to become teenagers or whatever, and grow up to become an adult, they go and they have those conversations with those guys. And again, I think early on, you'll see a lot of kids kind of like, bashing their dad. But when they start getting older and they start going around, and they're like, yo, this guy really ain't as bad as, she made him to seem and again, I'm going based on a lot of information and stuff that I'm hearing on social media or whatever. And I think a lot of those guys that are in the red pill space, a lot of those guys had to deal with that. A lot of those guys grew up in single parent households. And at first it was like, my dad wasn't hitting on 2 cents or whatever, but they find out through living with their mom, man, mom, she got a bad temper. You know what I mean? You can't tell her nothing. She's always right. I mean, we keep it a band. A lot of people like to throw that word narcissist around. The narcissist in this situation was unfortunately the mom and not the dad. The dad normally is cool, especially when you look at old heads, man. Old heads is, listen, most of those guys with the go along, get along game to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm willing to agree with you as long as you're not, mentally or physically abusing me. But I will allow, like, what you say can honestly, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't pass in today's generation, but a lot of those guys, honestly, were actually cool human beings, regardless of what they had going on in their life. Maybe they weren't a faithful man, but she knew that before she got with that guy, or whatever. But as far as a lot of things that they were fed, their dad being somebody that honestly didn't love them, I think a lot of people grow, even girls, they grow up and they find out you weren't the problem. You weren't the issue, even though I was fed this. And I think a lot of children that become teenagers and adults, unfortunately, and I can see it through people's actions and stuff, they grow up to resent their mother in the end. I mean, we can look at Kurt Franklin as a prime example of that. Unfortunately, man, he thought somebody was his doggone father this entire time. This woman been lying to me, and she knew she was lying to me. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy world we living in, dog. If you're willing to bring a life into this world, you have to be willing to sacrifice for that child till it can do. It is crazy. Till that child, let's just say that child, boy or girl, can do its own thing, do their own thing. I see what you're saying, Luke. I definitely see what you're saying. I represent the people. First of all, I think that's a dope name. That's a dope name for a channel, man. I'm kind of mad I ain't come up with it. Chad is a family man. We know that monster did. Yeah. Oh, and listen, and this is the beauty about social media now. Because beforehand, you could say something about a person and it get like word of the street get out or whatever, and people will believe it. But now we got social media. And when people see this person acting, behaving this way for so long around a lot of different people, and people say the exact same thing about him, if a million people are saying that this is a great guy or this is a great girl, respectful, all of these good things, and you got one person over here that seems like they're bitter is saying something else, who do you think people are going to believe? Like, listen, no, we got plenty of content from this person, plenty of content from other people speaking and talking positive about. Like, we not rocking with that no more, man. And that's why I say, listen, I know a lot of people don't really like the way that everything is going right now as far as, social media. I love it. I think that it is dope, man. I think that this is honestly giving everybody the opportunity to be able to really show their true colors, good or bad. I was thinking about OnlyFans right there. You know, all the people that got OnlyFans. Well, yeah, showing their true colors. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see what we got here. Uh, Women want more than what natural law allows them to have, and men are weak now. Yeah, I agree. And don't put a woman in their place. I think that, and again, I think that that is. I don't want to say putting them in their place, but I think that that is honestly starting to change now, and that's why I said earlier, if you guys were tuning into the podcast, the way that men thought in the past, the older generation, is completely different from how things are shifting and moving now. Because we grew up believing that just happy wife, happy life situation, instead of knowing that a man is supposed to be the leader. A man is supposed to be the protector and all of these things. He cannot be that if he's not in control of that ship. And I honestly, again, just seeing from how social media is starting to shift and paying attention to the comments, it literally went from like 90% of the people in the comments pretty much championing basically allowing a woman to lead versus no, that's not right. If you look at most of the situations in the relationships where a woman is in charge, a woman is the leader, most of the time those relationships don't make it. They tend to fail. But people that again, just looking at the history of things, how relationships are supposed to be, those relationships tend to stand the test of time because everybody is pretty much going with their natural role, the things that are pretty much in them. Instead of trying to go against the grain, people are basically just getting with it. But yeah, I think that's kind of changing, and the system we live in is actually designed for that to play out. Yeah, it sort of kind of is, but again, if we look at how things are right now, it's so beautiful, right? And again, I'm not saying vote for anybody, but if you look at where things are right now, how most of the time, I'm gonna say like maybe 5, 10 years ago, when people were championing the LGBTQ and everything, you have more people standing up against that stuff now, I believe, than ever. Like, how many people, millionaires, billionaires, are getting behind endorsing, no, that type of stuff does not need to be in the schools. Keep that away from schools. Keep that away from our children. We don't want to put that mess into our children and stuff like that. Versus again, 10, 15 years ago, whatever, or I ain't gonna say 15, but 10 years ago, or whenever Obama was in, in the chair, a lot of people was honestly, they were with it. They were either with it or they weren't actually like speaking up and being a lot more vocal about that. When I look down in the comments, again, and y'all know I'm always paying attention to the comments, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to add? Y'all don't just let me over here.
Oh, I'm just reading the comments. I'm just seeing how what people got to say and everything.
Hey, go ahead and bring that clip up real quick. I do want to go over that clip. I think it's a clip about Chad, I believe. It should be because it's two different clips. I know one of them. Just bring up either one. If it's not one about Chad, then you can just bring either one of them up, and we'll get into it. But I just want to get y'all perspective before if we're about to jump into another topic or whatever. Y'all can go ahead and give y'all final thoughts on this Chad Ocho Cinco situation. Like, what are y'all thoughts? Y'all
Um,
final thoughts about that?
well, all I can say is if they work it out, then they work it out. But if they're really done and they call it quits, hey, because it's crazy. They're supposed to get married next year in February.
Mm,
That's what's crazy.
Oh, wow.
yeah. Only thing I'm gonna say, man, because I can't really say on what side. I mean, I'm always gonna advocate for family. I'm always gonna advocate for people to stay together. But it makes it extremely hard for me to be able to say get back with a person when they have a certain type of mentality. Again, going into this thing, it's a lot of things that you pretty much chose to ignore about this young lady. One of the main things being you're dealing with somebody that was willing to step outside their marriage. I don't give a damn if you say that you were, emotionally disconnected from that person. I don't care nothing about that, dog. Like, that's one thing. And the fact that you chose to get in a marriage when you stood before God, and you said it in front of your family and his family and everybody, till death do we part, and you still gotta it just make me. I'm big on, like, when you words have so much doggone power and they mean something. So when that stuff comes out of your mouth, man, and you renege on that, I got an issue with that, dog. I really do. Really do. They're raising, let me see. The moon follows the sun. Okay. All right. Shout out to Lou. They're raising the kids for the fields. For the street. Okay. Single mother households keep slavery going. Ooh. Tina did a good job of expressing herself. Okay, okay. I represent the people. Yeah, she did. She did. And she does represent herself, and she does represent the average. Mm, I don't think so, man. I think honestly, Tina, from Tina's perspective, I don't think she represent like average women. I think that would be, I think, tied into the minority, not the majority. I don't think that majority of young women, especially around her age, have that type of mindset. You know what I mean? The
Heck
sexy,
no.
the sexy reds are good for business. Right, right. Again, when it comes to growing your popularity and stuff like that, again, I think more of a masculine type of trait or whatever. Yeah, that stuff is good for business, but not long term. Like the sexy reds, most guys, well, I ain't gonna say most guys, some guys would probably sleep with her, but I guarantee no man of value will honestly take her serious enough to actually want to spend or be around her long term. Most dudes ain't checking for that. Like, seriously. I've seen and I've heard some crazy things from that young lady, man. Absolutely not. A ship only has one captain, absolutely, and he has his first mate. I'm not really familiar with the ship terms. If I'm being honest with you. I ain't gonna even hold you. I don't even. Let me not expose myself. The captain will always ask his first mate. Yeah, I still don't know for feedback, but ultimately the captain has the last say. Yeah. Otherwise, the ship will operate in chaos. I I mean, just thinking about it from first in command and second in command, I can see that. Like, listen, I want to maybe just have some dialogue with you. Maybe you'll be able to possibly see some things that I didn't see, and I'm gonna take that in consideration. But at the end of the day, um, I'm still gonna make a decision based on what's best for us or what's best for this ship to move forward. So I can definitely see that. Luke say, "I'll rep the people." Oh, okay. Yeah. Kids born in broken homes are easier to control with emotion, sugar, porn, and etc. Interesting. Interesting. Again, man, I think again when children have that, I'm a, this may be a little bit controversial, and I'm cool with it, right? But not just children, but also because I'm thinking about balance right now. Children do better in a balanced environment. I think that also women do better in a balanced environment when they actually have a man or a male somewhere in there that's giving them honestly the perspective that they honestly need. Because I always talk about how I do not want to ever live in an echo chamber. So I want to be around people that's going to, kind of like challenge things. And I think that unfortunately what ends up happening when we'll start with women when it comes to women, a lot of them are around a lot of people or a lot of women that pretty much agree with everything that they say, even though they might be wrong. So when it comes to children, I think that it's important that they have that balance, right? They have that balance of getting, was that a rat? I think that was. But yeah, I think it's important that they get that balance from each, that nurturing, um, and understanding what it's like to be around, work with, work under, you know, a work around a man or work up under a man or whatever, you know what I mean? Like young women, young men, kind of understanding, how things are supposed to be versus, when they just see just one parent in the household, they kind of just be out here winging it, man. Unfortunately. All right, go ahead and play the clip real quick.
Oh, wait a minute.
Weeks into this damn thing, and I'm ready to get up. You have a girlfriend, wife,
Ex-girlfriend now.
You guys were living together when COVID happened.
We still are.
When did you guys break up?
3 months ago.
And why are we still living in the same place?
Lease agreements. I can't really afford to move out on my own right now.
And what's her excuse?
Dating my roommate now.
I'm really fucking sorry to hear that.
We were together for 10 years.
How are you?
Honestly, not that okay. What's really fucking me up is that she wants to get back together, but she's pregnant now.
With his? And what do you think?
I don't know.
Because your brain says one thing and your emotions say another.
Obviously, I want to get back together with her, but now that she's pregnant, it's like, is it even possible?
Whenever it comes to this stuff, like, we can't make the decisions for other people. They have to decide for themselves. And the part of the reason is that it's so clear for us on the outside. It's so easy for us to say, not living in that apartment with her and spending 10 years with her. But to everyone in this room, the answer is clear. I want to talk with you more about that. Thank you for sharing that. That's very brave of you, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yo, what are your thoughts on that, man? See, again, this was something that I honestly wanted to do for the next podcast, but we're just going to go ahead and talk about it right now. So, you guys just heard a guy, and I don't know, they must be living in a big spot, get with a young lady. They've been together for 10 years, right? I'm guessing she moves in, and they broke up for whatever reason. Now this young lady is not only dating, seeing the other guy, now she's gotten pregnant by another man, his roommate. And she's considering wanting to be in a relationship, back in a relationship with this guy. What are y'all thoughts, man? What are y'all thoughts? I'm about to go to F off. What did what's the name just say? I've been in here for 2 months and I'm already about to give up.
Bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. You will not. If we break up, and I had no knowledge of what's going on or what was like nothing, and you call telling me like I want to get back together, but I'm pregnant with your best friend's baby. Huh. Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Cause like, I can't, bro. This, I just,
This
I
messing the
can't wait
boys
to
up.
hear. I can't wait to hear the reasoning to like how this whole thing happened.
We gotta
Yo,
find.
that's
We got,
crazy. The man is so lost. Shout out to Luke. I represent the people. I'm too raw. I know you can't read my ears. It's all good, fam. Listen, man, we're gonna try our best to dissect it. You know what I'm saying? Screw the money. Get out of the house. Forget the woman.
Facts.
I fixed my typo. Smart brother. No problem, man. Yeah, we listen. We ain't over here. We ain't in school, man. We not in class right now, dog. For real. Just get your thoughts out, and I promise you we'll figure it out. But yeah, Tina, you wanna go ahead before I dissect this thing? I got to go get my doggone sauce out the bag. I'm about to go in. Boy.
well, I would say like I guess the presenter is saying this is my interpretation. It was also how I was gonna interpretate kind of men and I'm gonna say and women, but it's logic versus emotions. Um, so like he said, they've been together 10 years, but I feel like within that time frame, he should have picked up on some sort of hints, inklings, clues that she could and was that type of woman to yeah, to step out of the relationship. Now, so I, on that part I feel his pain, but on like the I guess what is the host was saying, like people on the outside can see, and like Kobe had said, ain't no way. Ain't no way. You done got with the homie, the roommate technically, and y'all are now pregnant and you still think that there's a chance? Come on now.
Tina, I want real quick. I'm gonna let you go look here, but Tina, I want you to answer this question though, because you said something and it came and it hit home for me. And it hit my brain. I gotta ask it.
Okay.
It's just like look, Harry said a long time ago. You can't you can't do something and expect because in her mind she's like because everybody say like women would take their man back doing multiple things. Like they can do the darnest thing and they'll take them back. But they like when we do it to a man, he's done with us. But
I'll
like, but you gotta look at it. We us as men, we got it's not it's our, people say it's our pride and our ego, but you can't expect yourself to be in this world and do something and not have somebody look at you in a different light. It's it's just crazy because you can't sit up here and try to think like, oh, I'm a lady. If a guy can do this, I can do it. No, you can't. Well, go ahead, Tina. You could say what you think, but I just
honestly I feel like I was agreeing with that because I was about to say, just like it's been said before, men and women are different. So I, hmm. So I feel like I get what you're saying when you was when you were saying that women take the man back after multiple incidents,
right.
and hmm, men don't. And I could only come up with the solution is like well how we've been saying that men and women are different. So one, how that cliche go? Well, they say what's good for the geese is good for the gander, but in certain cases, it's not.
Or I give you even better one, and I'll let you go. You can't be a woman trying to do men things and still think that you're a lady.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
My bad. You can go ahead, Tina. My bad.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook because I kind of lost my train of thought though.
My bad.
Okay, cool.
That thing was just mind blowing. Like, ooh, no, I'm joking. But no, man. Jumping into the situation. If you remember, then feel free to jump on in at any time or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. In a situation like this, dog, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know no guy in his right mind, and it's unfortunate because it honestly seemed like this guy, this male, this dude, he was actually like thinking about it and considering it. And see,
Mm.
here's the thing, ladies, that you need to understand. I don't think that women in mass, guys that are going to allow this type of behavior, they honestly really respect and really love these type of guys. Now, I believe, just my personal opinion, I believe this young lady is doing what I think that most women that move like that, that's for the streets, they're just seeing how far they can go and how much they can get. I wonder if I can go and sleep with this person and that person, and this guy still be able. I'm not gonna take him. I'm not gonna take him serious. You know what I'm saying? This will only be for a short time. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for what is it? For a short time, not a, for a good time, not a long time or whatever. But I think that, or just based on the things that I heard, it really did sound like this guy was still willing to accept this young lady and still be willing to get back with her. But again, I don't know any guy on this earth that will be willing to. Again, he might smash you. I don't know any guy that will be in a serious committed relationship with a young lady for 10 years. Get outside that relationship and you go smash anybody. I don't give a damn about the roommate situation. You go smash anybody and have a child by anybody and still come back and take you. Yeah, nah, we ain't doing that, fam. And when you start throwing other stuff into play about this guy being one of your roommates, I just can't think. I cannot think of one dude that's gonna honestly take you or that friendship or relationship like that serious to the point that they're gonna be willing to get back into another relationship with you. It's not happening. I don't know no dude in his wrong mind that would do something like that. For real.
All I'm gonna say is, bro, is you could say that you never seen a guy. There are some out there. They are some out there. But you got to think about the. This is the. So like, as I'm looking at the situation, these are the red flags I see in my head. You've been together with somebody for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't notice it. That tells me there's a lack of attention on you to pay attention and see the stuff that she's doing. And sometimes guys don't see it because I always think sometimes until you put a ring on that finger, that's when the true self of that person comes out and you start to see it. And that's when you start to realize, all right, should I do this? Should I go ahead and back out? I don't know. Maybe I should. And then you got to also think about the fact is that like guys, when you get in these serious committed relationships, the way things are now, she's not your girl, bro. She's like a key, bro. Everybody gets a turn, bro.
Facts. She
Because
belongs to the streets.
at this point, she's not your girl. It's just your turn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. All right, outside, ball. Facts. Actual factuals. All right, outside wall. All right, what we got right here? Tina Stans does not represent the average. I agree. The black women in the West is made to believe he is disposable. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you where that comes from, man. That comes from these damn Tyler Perry shows. Well, pretty much, I ain't even just gonna blame it on Tyler Perry, but he got a. I think that he is a major person I believe to blame for this though, because who didn't love his plays? I ain't gonna say his movies. His movies are alright, but I felt like every black family in America owned at least one point in time one of that dude's plays. And he literally pandered to women
in so many different ways, and I ain't gonna really get into it because it's kind of nasty. But yeah, pander to, and it could be, you know what? Let me not say that. It could be to his own liking as well. No,
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking. Let me go. But yeah, I think that he has a big tie into this. And again, the
Steve
way
Harvey
that,
too. Steve
yeah,
Harvey too.
absolutely. Yep. People that want to sell you something in order to make the money. And these guys are now millionaires and even billionaires based on the false information and the false narrative that they give young women today, or that they have given young women, which is, you're the prize. You don't need to change. You just need to upgrade and find you a man that's going to be willing to accept you and everything else that comes along with you. Not telling you that if you want a certain type of guy, then there are certain things that these men look for in a woman. And if you don't have those things, those qualities or whatever, you can get with a coach to try to help you unlearn some of the things that you learned growing up. Get with a therapist to help you get through some of those traumas and stuff like that, and stop looking at man, or stop looking at men as the enemy. When this is, hopefully you're trying to find a I don't want to say partner, but you're trying to find a husband, or somebody that you can get up under, and y'all can go out and live y'all best life. They weren't giving y'all, or they weren't giving those these women the best information. And that's why those women that have been sitting in Steve Harvey's audience from year 1 all the way up to year 15 still don't have a man, still go there, continue to ask him questions. He continue to give them the worst type of information, and they still continue to jump from one man to the next and still don't have the results. Him, Tyler Perry, again, the movies, the TV shows, the songs, like, they're putting it in everything. You got to be careful about the type of content that you consume on a day-to-day basis, because whether you want to believe it or not, that stuff, it gets into you and it attaches itself to you and to your brain. If you continue to read, certain type of books, or you continue to consume certain type of content from women that move like Chad Johnson's wife or whatever, it's not going to be before long before you start to think like that. Because repetition, it's just like brainwashing somebody. You continue to have them watching certain things, they're going to start to believe this. That's why they tell. I don't want to jump all the way into that. I feel like I'll be talking for the next 30 minutes, but y'all get the picture. Y'all get the picture. No self-respecting man would take a woman back after that. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. No guy that I know on this earth. And that's another thing, because I know we said something about, there are men out here. No self-respecting man, or no man of value, especially, what you also have to consider. There are a lot of men that will be willing to do that, but those women, what they're going, those women are going to chew those guys up, spit them out, and they're not going to be happy with those type of guys, because they just letting them run all over them. A woman does not want a man without a backbone. That's not attractive to them. Like, yeah, it's a shiny toy. I'll play with it for a short period of time, but it's only before long before a masculine, assertive, dominant male walks into the room. They be like, damn, this thing got hot as hell, ain't it? God, dogs.
Yo, here it is though, bro. I had a conversation. With a girl today,
Mhm,
and she was giving me word about some guy that comes to the store all the time, that he recently got divorced or whatever.
mhm,
And she said, "Oh, he's just such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy." And I was like, and I looked at her. I was like, I'm about to. I was like, let me cook for a second. I was like, there's a difference between a good guy and a nice guy, right? And she's like, yeah. She said, there's a difference. I was like, all right, if you look at me and him, who you consider the nice guy? She said, he's the nice guy, and you're the good guy. And I was like, okay. The reason why I say that, I was like, I'm the good guy because I told her I'm not a sentimental person. I'm not as in my emotions as I used to be. I used to be the nice guy. Now I'm the good guy. And I told her that uh a guy, like, paying attention to something that you do, like, let's say for example, like Tina, let's say Tina for example. Tina, if I notice that, like, all the time I see you, you like Starbucks, right?
Mm.
every time I see you, you always
Good
have
example.
Starbucks.
It's a good example. I already know where you're going, but yeah, good example. Go ahead.
So if I see it and like say your birthday come around or something like that, and I'm like, hey, I noticed that you get Starbucks all the time. Here's a $50 gift card. That's a good gesture. That's not a nice guy is like almost
He
insists
gonna get you
like,
coffee a nice guy's gonna get you coffee every damn day, hoping, expecting that he's gonna get your number. Basically a simp.
yeah,
Please let me get your doggone number. Let me get some type of play with it. Oh man, she gave me a hug today. My bad.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I'm saying. So when guys like him get runned over, like I said, there's nothing wrong with showing respect and being kind to a woman. There's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
But if you give off that vibe that, oh, I'm gonna text her good morning every day, I'm gonna say I miss you every day and try to compliment her and say every single thing in the book that you could possibly think of, bro, you're friend zone
quick.
real quick. Because
Makes
she
me
because she even said to me, she told me, she said, I know you're a good guy. She said, you do good gestures and you're cool and you know how to read the room and stuff. But she's like, I know for a fact, like
walk workouts.
she literally said, like, I would run over him. I know I would.
Yeah, that's actual facts. Hold on, say makes me wonder if that dude didn't have a good mother slash abusive mother. Shout out to Luke. I appreciate the comment, but I want to say this, man, because I think that the very first thing that a lot of us like to resort to is somebody being bad, like coming from a bad home. I don't think that that's always true. I think that sometimes it could just be like, even if he had like a two-parent household, it could be that, again, not saying that anybody is bad. His dad was just soft. His dad was just a part of that go along, get along game. That's not saying that anybody was bad, but if his dad has been conditioned and been taught to be that way, to be soft, to be, happy, or bred to believe, happy wife, happy life, and what she says goes or whatever. Not saying that's a bad guy, but he's just been taught that. And again, man, that brainwashing thing can really go deep. It can really go deep if we really like get into that thing, man. But yeah, I don't want to always look at it like, somebody had to be bad in order for them to accept certain type of behaviors. You know what I mean? 10-year relationship, oh my god. We starting off strong, and shout out to I represent the people. This is biological. She went to find a stronger man. Could be. He could. Roommate could be a stronger man, and now she is coming back home to a safe man. I want to comment on this. Hold on. This is very common, but this doesn't happen out in the open. So again, I hear what Kobe is saying about the nice guy and the good guy. I would say that I'm neither one of them. Never have been, never will be. I'm the asshole. And see, the thing about the asshole is, in a lot of different cases, those are the type of guys that most women want to be with. They want to be with the asshole. The guy that, I'm not saying that, he's going to treat them bad, but this guy don't take no ish from nobody. And they know that it's a fine line. If I disrespect this guy, I already know, listen, I'm out the damn door, because this dude don't tolerate all of that BS that I can get away with from the nice guy or whatever, the guy that simps, the guy that brings me coffee every day. I know that he's not going to tolerate it. And it's a certain type of thrill that they get. It just moves them, man. I'm telling you, it makes they doggone, the hairs on their arm stand up. You got too much hairs on your arm, baby. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. My own wife can, bro. If she was here right now, bro, you ask her, you say, she'll literally say, like, I got a good man. I don't have
Mhm.
a nice man. I have a
Yeah.
good man. And you can act, everybody, I know for a fact, there's been a couple people that asked her, like, hey, is your husband like a butthole? And she's like, no, but he can be.
All right. Yeah, it has to exist. I think that, like, a certain level of that has to exist inside of a man. The reason why I say that is because I think that every man should be able to to have like a hint of that at the back of their mindset or whatever, man, because I think that kind of plays into being dominant, being a leader, being assertive, like drawing that line in the sand. And again, oftentimes when people think about like that line, whatever it may be, most of the time it's going to come across as you being an asshole, you being mean. I've even heard the word cold hearted or whatever. You can't be cold hearted at times. Like, listen, I'm one of those guys that's always going to stand on principle. I'm always going to stand on my morals, my values. If I tell you, if I speak to you specifically about something, and you think or you believe that I'm going to allow you to go against the grain and I won't kick your ass, you done lost your mother loving mind. And like I've said in previous discussions, I'm not one of those people that wish. Like, I hope a person doesn't cross that line. I hope. I don't hope. I wish. I cannot wait till you find yourself in a situation where you think that you are above the approach. And that's with anybody. I put everybody in the exact same category. You know what I'm saying? Like again, if dealing with a young lady, or if I'm speaking to a guy and I tell him specifically, hey bro, you need to back up. You only get one warning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if that. If you don't heed that warning, it's lights out. The next time you open your eyes, you're gonna be in the hospital. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? And when it comes to young women, I'm not saying put your hands on young women, but when it comes to women, I think that the best thing you can do is just separate yourself. If you're dealing with a young lady that's being disrespectful, listen, always protect yourself at all times. But the best thing to do is just step away. Like, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and go back and forth with you. As a man, you shouldn't be going back and forth with anybody. Like, we can
Mm-mm.
always have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna be above having a conversation. We can always sit, talk or whatever, as long as everybody is being respectful. Huge on
Mm-hmm.
respect. If you're being respectful, okay, I'm gonna always be respectful. We can have that talk or whatever. But if they're not doing that, step off, step away. And if you have to cut communication for whatever reason, hey, I need for you to understand that. Listen, I mean business. When I say something, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's gonna come across as being an a-hole, but I promise you, it works. In the 34 years that I've been on this earth, it has not ever not worked for anybody, any situation. Man, woman, I don't care who you are. You can be from damn Mars. It works with everybody, dog.
You get
Because the thing
respect. You get a lot more respect. I'm trying to
Right.
tell you.
Because it's also tied into energy as well, right? Because I actually had a guy that interviewed me that's on the West Coast or whatever. He asked me a question. He's like, do you understand, what it's like to be in a room with your energy and you kind of like just leave out, or that energy just leaves out? It's like, no, because I've never been in there. Like, I know. But just based on our very first interaction, man, Katie, I can tell or I can see why people love to be around you. Like, you have a certain type of energy. And I just kind of like thought about it, like that will understand why, people love and they enjoy being around me. You know what I mean? If we're not even having a conversation, they just love being in the same room. Cause you just give off a different type of energy, man.
Yeah, because this is because like even with the chick I told you about, she says out of all the people that deliver, she rocks with me the most is because I'm the type of dude like if I walk in the store and you got an attitude, I'll look at you and be like, "Hey, what's up? It's one of those days. All right, we'll try again next time." And I'll be I'll be gone. I won't say another word. And that's why like sometimes my energy comes off as like, oh, like back off, get away from me. I don't give that type of vibe. I'm a observant human being. So when any area I go into, I observe where I'm at just so I can feel the vibe in the room. And if I feel like, hey, this ain't right, kind of stay to yourself or whatever, you do what you gotta do. And just like I'm saying, fellas, don't just straight up be a complete asshole. Don't straight up just be a complete asshole across the board. It like Katie said, stay on your morals, stand your ground, because the more you stand your ground, you get respect. And people may not like it, but it is what it is. Because you stand on your ground, it shows oh, this person means business. He ain't gonna get run over. And that's how I gotta be.
Facts. And when you get to the point where when you get comfortable, because understand, guys, it's a balance between all this. You know, again, I'm not telling you to go out here and be an asshole. I just know a lot of people have given me that label based on them thinking that I'm going to allow like certain things that other people may allow. You know what I'm saying? So I may some of the things that I do may come across as being that a-hole. And I don't think I'm an a-hole. I want to be that balanced guy. Like I want to be that person that's always like inviting. Like when you see that person on the street or whatever, it looks like, hey, I can go up and I can have a friendly conversation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And everything gonna be good. And even when we have like conversation, just know as long as you be respectful, I'm gonna give you the exact same thing in return. That's always been the goal, is to be that perfect balance. And I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Tina, you wanted to chime in or what?
Um, I can I concur on that because again, me and my sister be having conversations, and like one of the biggest things that we advocate for is that balance. It's just balance. Um, with we'll say the um structure and nurturing. When to be stern, when to be lenient. Um, just how to operate in the work field. You know, still want to be professional and stuff. Um, just just um just being able to approach things from a sound point of view and being able to conduct in a way that
Grace for everybody that didn't understand what she was saying. Grace, yeah, approach from a
yeah,
grace. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't really got much else to say.
Well, hey, I know we kind of jumped away from that Chad and his fiance thing, but I want y'all to think about this for a second. So, yes, Chad didn't say anything about it initially when they split. Even we don't even know if they're actually split. Even though she posted that,
Mm-hmm.
she it was probably she was probably pissed off about it when she sent that out. So we really don't know what the end result of them two are. But if you look at it in the whole grand scheme of things, she had it's like she said if it's true, she wanted Chad to sign a prenup because it seemed like she already had her motive immediately, as in like sign this prenup so you can't get nothing from me. And Chad's like, no, if you want to walk away and call it quits, I'm about to take some of that money. So it may maybe because
Oh man.
because I feel like if love is there, why do you need a prenup?
Mm,
Well,
that's a
I will say this because I kind of it is funny. It is hilarious. I think it's hilarious because right now the shoe is on the other foot, and you oftentimes hear, the reason why a guy is trying to get a young lady to sign a prenup or whatever, because one of the things that Chad also was talking about is he said, man, you know how women are. You know what I mean? Like one minute they'll love you, the next minute they out the door, they taking the damn kids and everything. Yo, that's basically what he was saying or whatever. So
Hmm.
he was just like, yo, if you really are taking this thing serious, that it shouldn't be an issue to sign a prenup. Now, I do understand what he's saying, but again, at the end of the day, going back to the last conversation, marriage is technically a business. I think that when you sign that contract, I think that if people are going into it with good grace or whatever, then I think that it should be like some things that need to be drawn up because again, marriage is a contract. So in this contract, all right. So if somebody isn't taking it serious, somebody initiates a divorce, then I think that like if you're not taking this thing serious, then you should be penalized for it. That I can understand. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and set some things up and play. Like you're actually going into it like in good grace. Like you're actually trying to see this thing through for the long haul. And I
But
think that instead of like an actual prenup, like actually putting certain things like that in place so people know it's real versus, we can get a divorce, no harm, no foul or whatever. Nah, I done wasted all this time. We done spent all this money on these damn these wedding gifts and whatnot, and then have my people come out here. My grandma, she got a bad leg, and you up here.
yeah,
Man,
but
no.
I honestly think that when the way they ended and the way I look at them too, I feel like her and Chad are the exact same person. It's just the difference is Chad he handled it a better way than she did, because when anytime they had beef, Chad said he left the house. He'll block her from social media. He'll unfollow her and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I
I,
did
like
hear
like
that.
like I said, I don't know if it's just in a joking manner or it's serious, but like it's like you and her act just alike. Y'all are alike, and especially if you saying like, oh, we got beef right now. We got beef right now. I'm like almost every episode is on like y'all always got beef, and it seems like y'all the exact same person.
To a certain extent, I agree with you saying on up to a certain extent because I don't think that Chad will honestly raise his voice at her. I think that if they are having a disagreement, like you said, I think that he's more the one that, you know what, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm just going to step off. But again, she's a drill sergeant. I don't know for sure, but I know the things that come along with being around people like that. Like I had a lot of people that was in the military or whatever, so I know what that type of lifestyle, like how those people have to be. And I don't know how long she did, while she was in the service or whatever, but that literally comes a part of your personality. When it comes to dealing with conflict and stuff like that, you oftentimes resort back to what you have been taught. And if these are things that she's learned again in the army and the Navy, wherever she was, then she's probably used to speaking to and maybe even talking down to people. I want to say she was like a sergeant or something, so she was high ranked. So it kind of brings me into my next point, right? Because we was actually having a conversation in the barbershop, and I want to hear from both of y'all. And one of the questions came up. Your girl, and I think this pretty much ties into what we're talking about right now. Your girl is making $250,000 a year, right? Not that the money has anything to do with it, but your girl makes $250,000 a year, whatever, and y'all are having a debate, an argument, and the girl or your lady, she's standing 10 toes down on what she believes. You wrong, all right, but she's standing 10 toes down on what she believes, and now she's not only like elevated her voice, but she's kind of yelling at you. You wrong, she right, but she's standing 10 toes down, and she basically saying like, listen, we going my way. We not listening to what you saying right now. You wrong, I'm right. We going this way. How would you then handle that as a person, or how do you think that the guy should handle that as a person? Tina, we gonna
Well,
let you go first.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
um, first of all, well, I would say first of all, like, I mean, I get that sometimes you might blow your cap, but hopefully you've gotten to the point where you have tackled I'm gonna just say those demons, and getting worked up and wound up won't come to you yelling and arguing with the person. But so, in the sake of scenario, man, I don't even know. I don't even know because I'm not a
Uh,
man.
honestly, I if my woman did that to me, I'm gonna feel so much disrespect, because it's like, yes, you're right and I'm wrong, but you going about it as like, nah, like this is what we're gonna do and that's it. Like let's be real. I'm like, yo, you treat me like I'm your bitch, yo. Like, come on now. Like, nah, nah, like this ain't it don't work that way. It don't work that way, because that's a you're showing disrespect. You're showing that you have the powers, like I told you, You have that power at bay where you control the situation. You wearing the pants, and your thoughts and your opinions have no type of value.
Man. So before I go in, there was a situation where Chad, because he said he goes to some spot. It's not IHOP. I'm just gonna
First
say
watch,
IHOP.
first
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, 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 yeah. So he went to a spot or whatever. He's sitting there chilling, eating his pancakes or eating his breakfast or whatever, and he's on a FaceTime call with his girl, his ex fiance, and his shades were up and they came down or whatever, and I'm guessing she seen like a reflection of the waiter in his glasses. And the very first thing she basically said was like, "Don't effing play with me." Now, mind you, when you on FaceTime, I don't know if it's possible, but I think when you're on FaceTime, it automatically goes to speaker, right? So people
Hmm.
can hear the conversation, like they can actually hear you. And she was basically saying, like, basically, Chad, don't effing play with me. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull up and kind of like cursing him out. And the waitress or whatever, she was kind of like on air, like, I don't know if I should go back over there. You know, I heard everything that this young lady said or whatever. To the point that she's raising her voice, she's cursing, pretty much again tied into what we were saying. And Chad was like, listen, we almost fell out about this. I didn't raise my voice. But we were about to fall out because I'm just like, yo, bro, I'm not even doing nothing. I'm sitting here just eating my meal, chilling. Why in the world would I even pick up, knowing that if I do have a young like that don't make any doggone sense. Like, come on, bro.
Bruh, come on now.
Conversation
Like,
could have been had.
I was about to use that as the example too, because he said his glasses fell and he quickly put them back up, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when she immediately made that comment saying like, "Don't effing play with me," and he
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, the girl was afraid to get back into the whole thing, and then she had to jump back in, and he had to explain, hey, what was going on, and then like when she was, because she actually came on the show when he addressed it, and she was and she was like telling like she's like, I didn't say it like that or whatever. Nah, nah, no. That there ain't no way that you can say you could have said it any other way. There's no other way you could have said it because literally you try to make fun, you try to make humor of it. Nah, hey, that was a red flag that was right there. That's a red flag right there.
Because when somebody is wrong, that's the very first time. That's the very first thing they'll try to do. Oh, I was just playing. No, the hell, no, you wasn't. No, you wouldn't. And that right there should have been, again, an initial red flag like, yo, bro, this is how you deal and handle like conflict. Instead of you actually talking to me and asking me questions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, your glass just fell. It look like you ain't got no woman with there, no over there or what you do or whatever. You could have did it in a laughing manner. Again, it's not always what you say, it's how you say things or whatever. Like, no, baby. Again, God, and I don't think that most men don't mind giving women that reassurance when your approach is from a loving, when it's coming from a loving space versus don't you play with me. Like what? What do you think? When you give attitude, you give aggression and everything, most men are going to respond how they will respond to most people or most guys that are giving aggression and everything. Like what? Hey, don't try to beat on your chest in front of me. I'm gonna beat on my chest right back. What you mean? Are you causing conflict?
Katie, when she said what she said, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Leave.
My my first thing that came to my mind, trust issues. Trust issues.
And she the one that be cheating.
That is straight trust issues all the way.
What are your thoughts on the team?
Yeah, I guess I'll respond to the question, even though, um, yeah, like, because I didn't know the backstory about her leaving her husband to kind of, not kind of, but to cheat on her husband with Chad. I didn't really know that backstory. So I'm feeling like she is it deflecting? No. But yeah, when she's mistaken the waitress for a potentially another woman, she's just like she'll probably think any woman that's around him is he's probably involved with because of how she is like. And then y'all also say allegedly that he kind of be out there anyway or was out there anyway.
No. Like when he first was like in the beginning of his NFL career, he was out there. But
Okay.
but like you said, Chad always said to everybody he's so cheap. He eat McDonald's every day. He don't go nowhere. He's in the house. So
Hmm.
like because if you look at it, like he might go out, but if you look from the most part, it seems like that she goes out more than he do.
Oh,
And
okay.
he really don't like going anywhere. So like she goes out the most, but it's like you said, I think she is deflecting everything because it's you can't sit up here and do that to him
If
and
you're not
Chad.
doing anything.
Exactly. He's not doing that to her. Because
Yeah.
if you look, she's in a field where it can possibly like if you're in a real estate firm where you normally surrounded by a whole bunch of
Mhm.
men that can possibly be attracted to her, you see Chad out here being like acting the way she is. No, because in his mind he's like she's mine.
Mhm.
That's because like sometimes us as men, like don't get me wrong. Sometimes men get out of pocket because they always see they woman around a whole bunch of men, and they always think sometimes guys think the other way. But if you are confident in yourself and you have trust and respect for your woman, man, you ain't gonna think about that. Like,
Mhm.
come on now. Like, listen, I'm trying to tell you this right now, and this is straight facts. Man, it's been occasions where my wife has came to me and told me that a guy tried to talk to her. Does that upset me? No, I don't get upset about it because I'm like, if somebody try to talk to my wife, it's funny because I'm like, oh, all right, you try to talk to my wife, she mine. She know where she coming home to.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Creator had said something the other day that I really agree with, man. It's like this. If fellas, and I'm just speaking in general, if you're dealing with somebody and for whatever reason that woman wants to, or she decides to step out and go do something to be with somebody else, understand that she was not yours to begin with. She for
Mm-hmm.
everybody, fam. And
Cook,
you
bro,
should not.
cook.
And one thing that you should not do, man, is you should not be stressed over that, right? Because this was either going to come today, tomorrow, next week, next month. And I feel like this, the sooner the better. Get that young lady as far away from you as possible. And I promise you, your life is going to be a lot better without her. A lot of people get too invested into the wrong situations. And again, if somebody has shown you, again, fellas, if a young lady has shown you that she for everybody, believe it, fam. Believe it. Don't stress over it, man.
Hook up culture. That's what they say.
That
Mm.
part.
Hook up culture. And like yes, I watch this group of guys. I know they're younger than me, but I watch them all the time because I just want to. I watch them to get the perspective and get where they headspace is. Man, look, I guarantee you, Tina. I'm telling you this. I guarantee if I got a microphone, if me and LeCarry go out in Charlotte or anywhere, let's just say downtown Charlotte, because that's where most people are gonna be at.
Mhm.
Just imagine me and LeCarry going down there and asking people questions as, "Hey, what's your favorite sex position?" They gonna answer it.
Oh.
Car- Hey, tell me if I'm lying. You can literally go down there, ask them whatever question you want to ask them. They're gonna answer it.
Facts, man. Listen, when I did that other interview, man, it was a lot of people that were trying to get the number, the social media, and all the other stuff for the wrong type. I was like, yo, and that's why I mean, I want to honestly get back out there, but I don't. I don't know. I want to put myself in those type of environments, man, because I don't want nobody to, think, oh, he coming back out here, like, let me go ahead and approach him on some crazy type of mess, man. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I don't know if those people aren't used to dealing with certain type of guys downtown or something, but they act like vampires. They literally act like vampires, man. It was certain times I was kind of just standing off to myself, like, I don't want to talk to these people getting out of hand.
I'm trying to tell you, like, people. I'm trying to tell you, people nowadays are so open and out. Just they're so out in the open about whatever. Like, you can literally ask them any question that is sexual or anything, and they will answer it
Jump on it.
straight up, honestly, just answer it. Don't care.
Hmm. Jump on it and try to jump on you. It's like, yo, whoa, this interview just took a turn for the worse. What's going on? What's about to happen, man? There's a group of big girls that kept walking past too. Boy, I was like, I gotta get the hell up out of here, man. We're gonna take this camera off. Shout out to the big girls. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. But I ain't though. Man, that
Yeah,
was crazy.
man.
All right.
Hey, it's another. We got another. What's that? I wanted you to go ahead and throw up there. The last one of the day.
One second.
Tina, somebody said, I represent the people, said, Tina, your voice is so sweet. Why you not talking?
We're trying to get more out of. We're trying to get her to speak a little bit more. We're trying to honestly bring a little bit. A few more people on the podcast or whatnot, what have you, man. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm typically a listener. I don't really do a whole lot of talking, especially when some of the points that have been said or been made is kind of it aligns with what I'm thinking. So yeah.
Respect that. Okay.
This right here.
Yeah. So this is from Poor Man's Podcast. Let me just start off by saying, first of all, shout out to Poor Man's Podcast. This guy is phenomenal. Not that he really needs any shout out because he almost up to 1 million subscribers, but hey, gotta always give credit back to the content creator. This dude don't miss, man. He has some phenomenal content, great talking points, and I think that he does a really, really good job when it comes to balance. I think one of the issues that I was having when I first started reviewing content is people were too much like one-sided. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, this is kind of like a part of the red pill community, even though I don't like really, really saying that and connecting myself with the red pill community because there's a lot of bad things that come along with that. But this was actually like one of the first guys that just had balance similar to, how I am. I don't want to be, on one side of the spectrum. I prefer to be like right there in the middle or whatnot. But yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, you can go ahead and drop it.
What the protection of men looks like versus when they take it away.
Yeah,
Iraq
okay,
was
let me
more.
get it.
Hold on.
So he's talking about the protection of men. We live in a society now where, because of how everything is a lot easier. So people don't really know and understand like how life would be if all of these things that we currently have were stripped away. Because a lot of people say, I don't need a man's protection. You know what I mean? I can just go and, get a dog, get an animal, get a gun or whatever. A lot of people don't really understand. So I think that this guy did a phenomenal job with putting things into perspective.
All right. Hopefully this plays at a decent speed.
Places in the world to find out what the protection of men looks like versus when.
No, my bad, y'all. I'm gonna just go back a little bit to the bird.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Listen, one of the best places in the world to find out what the protection of men looks like versus when they take it away. Iraq was more progressive than the United States back in 56. You can look it up. They were actually more progressive when it came to women's rights. Until Shiites, I think, took over. And literally within seconds, it went back. They were wearing burqas because there was no protection from the men. Right now, if men didn't protect women, y'all could walk out in the street and get raped. No one can stop it. Who's going to stop it? Men keep other men in check. That's why it's sad that women talk so low to men when literally women wouldn't have anything if men decided we're not going to give it to you.
Damn.
And allow men lower themselves to raise women up. Because if a man decided that he wanted to just continue to oppress you, what could you do to stop it? If men collectively said, we're going to continue to rape women, we're going to continue to keep women in the house and barefoot and pregnant, what could women do to stop it?
Nothing.
Thank you, dear.
That's a fact.
So men should be looked at a lot better than they are because we're looked at as horrible people and we're literally protecting and building society.
Exactly. And one of the most frustrating things as a man is watching women get baited into fearing men by the media and feminism.
All right, you can
Less
go to
than
stop.
1% of men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out to Poor Man's Podcast. If y'all want to go check that video out, check out, his commentary or whatever, feel free to, pause that video and go check it out. But yeah, man, what are y'all thoughts on what was said by the young man? I think that was like the Fresh and Fit podcast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you
Go ahead. I was trying to catch my breath. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you look at it, they it's sound, like it makes sense. Like men do a lot of things in society, in the media, historically, ancient, historic. They built civilization, and you don't hear anything about not unfortunately, but you don't hear anything about that. Like the women, they do take care of the homes and stuff like that, but I do feel like you need men to run things. Like again, logic versus emotions, and it just makes more logical sense that men um that men actually, take charge and protects us, one, physically in general, using the example that he said, just off of strength. Like you do have percentages of women, don't know the numbers, that are pretty strong, that can overturn a man, but as majority, no, you don't have that. Like even just thinking about it was something I was watching where they lowered like the military physical test down for women to try and enlist, and they still, and some women still wasn't passing the physical test. And just off of physicality, I would say that um men are protectors. And then off of financial, like again, you do have women. I'm a shout out to some of those women that are above average, or however, but I still feel like majority men takes care or provides and protects in a I'ma just say better, in a better way, because women tend to go off their emotions, especially if they are unstable mentally. They'll go off their emotions, and heck, we even attack each other most of the time. And so if we didn't have mm, that male structure or that dominant structure, it'll be chaos.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, because I look at it as, like Katie said earlier, you want to be equivalent to what a male is, but you don't want to put in the work to make it happen. Like, let's be real. Like, buildings, all these buildings that we had were built by men. Imagine if like there were no men and it was straight women. Do you believe that stuff will get done? You gotta ask yourself, would you think it would get done? And like, I'm not trying to get political or anything, because I don't really get into politics and stuff. But literally ask yourself, what do you think might have happened if Hillary Clinton got in office? What do you think would happen if Kamala got in office? Because people are looking at it as, if you get, and I'm not bashing them or nothing, because people hold them in high regard, and that's understandable. But when you look in the grand scheme of things, people are really looking at as like, if you put a woman in office, that's that's gonna be something that's gonna get to the where they said the world is gonna entirely change. Cause it's like it's gonna be more women's rights. It's gonna be more this. It's gonna be more that. And I'm gonna sit here and say like I'm not gonna sit here. Women don't deserve certain things, but when you put a woman of that caliber into that high power, you don't know what is gonna come out of it. Because they say because they say if you put a woman in the White House, it's gonna be the scariest thing you have ever seen. I hope that's not the case, but it's it's just because like okay, yes, like the guy said, like from the Poor Man's Podcast, it's true. A woman can go outside and all this stuff can happen to her and nobody do nothing about it because they can't defend themselves.
Mhm. That's if the men step back. Yeah, but I would hope. That's all I can say. Even though, like, over time and over history, you do see that the men still run things. But even with a woman's president, I would still hope that there's men checks and balances, legislative, executive, the branches and stuff that would still somewhat dictate. Not really dictate, but I'll just say that for right now. But just kind of guide, give advice, more sound advice, more logic advice that it change is okay, but change could be scary. But I don't know if I don't know if we might not be ready for a female president. But we have some comments here. Mel says hi.
I did want to speak to the point that the gentleman had made about
I don't know why
you
I thought
know.
you already did. My bad.
No, you good. You fine. It's all good. Yeah, I think again things have been normalized to where a lot of people don't realize and a lot of people don't understand, how things would go, how society would be if, again, man, like he was saying about was it Israel? Did he say
Iraq.
Israel?
Iraq.
Iraq. How Iraq was like women rights and everything, man. Like it was, they were actually a little bit more aggressive than we were, and then overnight things just switched.
Mm.
And all of those things that a lot of people take for granted right now have been stripped away. And you need to understand that there are a lot of people, a lot of men that if it wasn't against the law and they could get away with doing certain things to women and other men aren't going to hold them accountable, fam, it's some very, very wicked guys out here. And actually, I did pay attention to one of the comments. I did watch something early, and I was just thinking, it was a guy that was doing like a little arm wrestle on a Fresh and Fit podcast with this young lady. Now, this young lady was like, I forgot what she was, but I don't know if she was like an MMA fighter or something like that. But she was pretty much, I would say, honestly, in strength, she was probably above average. And she was dealing with a guy that was basically like skin and bones. Like the dude's arm was skinny as heck. And it took her a few seconds to get his arm down there. And when we start to really zero in and we start to think about like the average hand strength of a man versus the average hand strength for an average woman, average versus average, no question. When you start thinking about an above average woman, average guy, I think in most cases, again, we talk about an average guy, not a below average guy, because I think that guy was, again, below average. I think that she would probably still lose. Now, when you start thinking about an above average woman versus a below average man, then I think that's when, things will probably play out in her favor. But I'm saying all that to say this. Just think about it, right? You have, let's just say, 10 guys in the room, right? And you have 25 average women in the room. And let's just say we're just going to put them in the ring just to see who's going to win. 25 to 10. In your opinion, who you think is going to pretty much come out on top with that?
The men.
No question. I think in a lot of cases, there would be no question, especially when we start thinking about, again, like average guys. And then if you strip all of those things away, you start stripping away law enforcement, you start stripping away laws, rules, other men that's going to hold these guys accountable and stuff like that. You got a lot of guys that are not even average, that are above average in strength, above average in, they probably do damn taekwondo and stuff like that. I'm just gonna say it's a good thing that we do have laws and things that are put into place that's going to protect the women that absolutely should be protected. And it's unfortunate that you have some people out there that, again, go around and say that, they would rather be in the woods with a bear versus, being in the presence of a man. That is crazy work, boy. That's crazy.
That's even more dangerous. What you talking about?
I mean, it ain't even close, fam. Like, that bear is gonna rip you to shreds. I mean, in a matter of seconds. Good grief. But yeah, man, it's unfortunate. Go ahead. I know you said we have some comments real quick.
Love your hair, Katie.
I appreciate
You want to see my hair, Mel?
Oh,
it.
then we have y'all are supposed to be adults. Grow up. WTF you doing? And
I ignored that. I ain't.
I don't even know who that is.
me too. Then
Well,
I
I want to kind of troll them a little bit. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Come on back to the front of the congregation, my friend. Let's have a discussion. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? All right,
Sounds
go.
like to me they We the People News and Mel,
yeah,
handled it. So
we the said this.
Good grief. Nigga, that
Man,
squad, that empire. The empire, boy. Get them. Get them. Nigga confused, y'all. Lord. It's like a clone. Good grief.
that
Damn,
was a last one.
damn burger.
hey,
That's
when you get that following like that, you don't even gotta talk. You already,
true
like you
that.
said, you already got the empire to handle it.
Yeah, true that, dog. That's right. They say they done cooked your shit. Go ahead and bring up the the last people real quick before we get up out of here. Bring up the sponsors. Chop it up before we get up out of here. But yeah, y'all. Just to sum up that Chad Ocho Cinco thing, man, because I don't think that we've heard the last of this. I think that this is going to be a little ongoing thing. I don't think that Chad is going to be petty along with her. I will say that. I think that he's going to continue to take the high road because I want to say they already said that he kind of put something out in a jokingly manner about this. Did you see that? They said something about an emoji or emote or something that he did. Did you see that?
Nah, I probably gotta look. I probably missed it while watching the show. I probably gotta watch it again, or something like that. But Chad, I like to say Chad Johnson. He makes light of stuff in serious moments, like just like when Shannon went through his whole issue. He he made it very laughable and Bentley was like, all right, it happened. We in this moment, but let's try to shed light on it and let's make it fun. And I think in this situation, yeah, Chad is hurt. But ever since that whole thing had came out initially when he addressed it a little bit, you ain't never hear him talk about it again. He's just sitting there doing nightcap, doing what he gotta do, having fun, and he left it at that. And like I said, the more that you watch the shows, because I just know for me, like when you see him, because I always pay attention to people's like scenery and wherever they at. I I just saw Chad in his house that he stays in with her one day this week because she probably wasn't there. He probably was on there because she probably went out of town and she wasn't there. But all the other sceneries, it seemed like he was at somebody else's house. So all I can say is, it's like I said, if he decides to stick around and they work this stuff out, know what you're getting yourself into.
What do you think?
But
Do you think that he should stay just based on how she has been moving lately?
well, we don't really know what happened. That's the biggest kicker. We don't know actually what happened. All we're doing here is having a conversation about how we feel about it, and we're speculating what possibly could happen or what happened. All this speculation is based off what she posted in a tweet. Because one thing is being said that she probably cheated on Chad. One thing is it could be like she. But these two have been on nightcap numerous times saying that they beefing, but we're gonna work it out. They always say that, so we don't know what could have caused her to get to this point to be like, oh, we're done.
What are your thoughts, Tina? Do you think that based on what we've seen, do you think that he should stay, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of on the line, so I don't know how often they would be on nightcap talking about they beefing, because like the child, like who really wants to be in the home, even if it is joking and stuff like that, that your parents almost every other night is having some sort of disagreement, some sort of uh passionate, nah, I don't want to say awkward. I'll just leave it at that. But some sort of different disagreement. If you involved with someone, I would want those times there for it to be more happier, not happier, but more positive times than something that we always have to sit down. Okay, look, we're fighting the situation, not each other. Um, so it's unfortunate for the kid. Uh, as of if it is true as of right now that it's another child to be raised in another um separated home. Uh, I mean, hey, they kind of knew what they was going into. Um, yeah, like who they was getting involved with. It's possible to work things out for them to, work on themselves, or even just like, what didn't someone say? Give her time, or give each other a little time, some time apart might not be too bad as well. And then maybe do some reconciliations after that.
Yeah. Didn't you say that was Unc that had said that?
Yeah,
That said let's give us time.
he said give her a day or two, and that's when Chad was like, well, he's like the stove is hot, man, like it's hot. And I was like, and to be real, like let's be honest here, Tina, Katie,
Mm.
and just think about this. If you and a person got into a heated argument where it got to this point, like Chad and his former or fiance or ex-fiance, they say give that person some time. How long is it to give a person some time before a conversation has to be had. Until you be
Honestly,
like, because if you go for an extended period of time, that tells me right there, like, oh yeah, we done.
I can see what you're saying. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think in the heat of the moment, I think it's always best, especially for most people, to take some time and get a breather. Now, should it be a day? I don't think it should be a day or two. I don't think that it takes that long for you to calm. If it take you that long to calm down, then that's an issue within itself.
Your
I
ass
think
stuck in
that
your ways. Your ass is stuck in your ways.
right. I think that you should take a moment, take a deep breaths, and during that time, maybe I don't know, 30 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes or whatever, you calm down. During this time that you're calming down, you need to be speaking and talking to yourself and thinking like, yo, bro, we are engaged. We got a child together. Like, I don't know if they have businesses together, whatever. Like, I know that this person really cares about me and I really care about this person. Like, we're going to have this conversation. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to give this person grace. I'm going to make sure that when we talk, I'm not going to elevate my voice and I'm going to expect the exact same thing in return. You know what I mean? We're gonna be respectful. And I think that as long as you approach the conversation in that manner where I'm gonna give you grace, I'm gonna speak to you with respect, and I'm coming to you because I want to get an understanding from where you're coming from. Whatever we decided to disagree with, like Tina said earlier, you know what I mean? Like our beef is not between each other. Like it's actually just whatever that is. So let's try to figure that out. We're in this thing together. All right. So let's be an example and show people, let's show our children or whoever, like this is how you deal and this is how you handle conflict. Because these stories like this, like you actually take those things like, hey, me and my girl, me and my wife, me and my whatever, we had a disagreement the other day and this is how we handled it. Like those things like that is what's going to continue to help y'all and also maybe be able to help other people.
Hmm.
All right, Tina, you can go.
Go after that.
Oh man, okay.
I'm kind of trying to relate it to the man's. I wasn't able to like really hear everything, but of course they was talking about when they did have a disagreement, he'll go to one side of the house, she'll go to the other, and let them just calm down, come cool and calm down, uh, collect, calm, cool, and collect. And I would say too, like I guess how you were saying, like you invested your time, your effort, your resources and stuff with this person. I feel like you should already bottom line know, hey, let's let's circle back to why we're going down this path of being together, why we've chosen to say even though the business part of marriage and stuff like that, but still there's still got to be some sort of connection. You're just not going to get into bed or get into a business or agreement, some sort of agreement with a corporation person if you don't think that, or if you don't think or you don't feel that these two align with your morals and your values, and you don't think that you see some sort of future with this entity. I'm gonna just say it like that. So you want to be able to so before I continue, um communication. So let's say that someone's form of communication or how they would like to communicate isn't always verbal. I guess could that be acceptable?
I mean, like I think again, everything should always be approached with grace, and people shouldn't automatically excel. Like if this is your preferred way to how you want to communicate starting off, I'm gonna give you that grace. I'm not going to try to dictate and say, no, we need to communicate this way because it goes back into somebody's trying to control who you are. Listen, You may not be there right now, and I'm okay with it. I'm going to give you that grace. Like, eventually, I do want to work up to the point where we're not always communicating and talking through, because again, I believe that improvement should be like, that should be at pretty much at the top of your. I want to improve. I want to get better. I want to be better at talking, communicating with you, because you are a person that I plan on spending the rest of my life with. So I want to make sure it gets better and it gets easier for you to be able to talk and communicate with me. And again, it has to be like an open-minded type of person that you're dealing with in order for them to understand that. But yeah, I'm not automatically Xing out and saying, no, that's not acceptable. I'm giving you grace. That's important, man. When you're getting it into any type of relationship with anybody, you're gonna get a lot further with in business, relationships, or anything like that when you come to the table with grace.
Yeah, I agree. I think I also it's almost just like you dealing with a person when you ask them like, "What's your love language?" It's almost like that because like you might be a person that like quality time, and that person may like um affection or quality time, acts of service and stuff like that, and that's something that you probably don't do. But like you say, you being patient with a person and allow them to, adapt to your love language that you have, and it can be it's a tough task to do certain things that you're not used to doing with the person that you was with previously. Everything is going to be a complete shift, and you have to adapt.
Let's say grow. You got to be willing to grow.
Yeah, it's like look, if you look at it in life, and like let's be real, guys. Like look at it in life. We are always going through changes. We are always finding something new. We're always learning something new, and we have to adapt.
Absolutely, man. You got to, and again, if you plan on being by yourself, then I don't think these rules necessarily apply to you. But if you honestly plan on getting into a relationship, getting involved with anybody, again, whether it's business or whether it's personal, you should be approaching it in that manner, which is again, giving people grace and think about like, I want to grow. I want to grow, not just for myself, but also for this person. Even if it's not just for yourself, also for this person that I'm with, this business that I'm with. I want it to grow, and in order for me to grow, in order for this thing to grow, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, because that's what growth is. You're not going to be used to it. This is not something that you're used to doing on a daily basis. If you want to continue to remain the same, if you want to be single, if you want to be by yourself, then yeah, just be by yourself. Don't change. Stay who you are. But when you get involved with somebody, you need to understand that yes, change needs to happen. Growth needs to happen in order for this thing to mature and blossom into something that's going to be beautiful. If not, then that flower is going to die, and you're going to have to ultimately blame yourself for it, especially if you weren't willing to grow. Anybody want to?
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
Tina, you want
Um, well, I feel like I'm mentally answering my question. I didn't want to take this into a turn, but like, how do you know? I'll just say it like this. How do you know when it's time to leave the company?
Well, when either the company is not trying to grow, if the company is not looking to help you elevate, if it's like a dead end situation where you know what I mean, it's not, because again, a company and a person is completely different, right? Uh, if we're speaking about in terms of relationships with people, because I think that it is a little different. If that person that you're around is not a good person, like you don't actually enjoy being around that person. That's number one. Number two, if that person themselves are not growing, are not improving. Again, when we start talking about a dead end or whatever, if that person is not, growing, maturing, or anything like that, then, of course, it's probably time to go. Uh, Let me see. If that person is a bad person, you know what I mean? If that person is a negative person, if that person is somebody that, when you are around, you know what I'm saying, it's just all bad, then I think in those situations, absolutely. But I think that oftentimes we have to do some self-reflection before we start thinking about that. I have to first look at myself. Am I that person that I'm thinking about right now? Am I that negative person? Am I that person that's not looking to grow? Am I that person that's not looking to add value? Am I that person? Am I the problem ultimately? If I am the problem, I need to first work on myself, because, again, we look at people like Tia, we look at people that are constantly leaving relationships and everything. They oftentimes want to put it off on the other person when it's actually them that's the problem. And so before you make any decisions or anything like that, it needs to be some type of self-reflection. And that also applies to a business as well. Because if you are with a company, you're working with someone, or you're working for a company, and you're thinking about leaving that company, right?
Mm.
But you haven't did the work on your doggone self. What do you think is going to happen when you go to the next building? It's the same building, the same. It's a different building, but the same person, the same mentality, and you're ultimately gonna go and take that into the next building that you go into anyway. So it's a lose-lose situation for the person. It's a mindset, and I would argue and I would say that a person that has a certain type of mindset ultimately is always gonna be happy. They always gonna be good. It's just that way. Like, winners are always gonna find a way to win, regardless of what situation that they're in, or anything. It's just that outlook on life just attracts a certain type of energy. I gotta say this before I pass the Dutch. It was I was speaking with someone that I used to be real cool with or whatever. And it was a situation that had came up. I was like, what did I say? I was like, yeah, because I would have did this, and I guarantee it would have happened. It's like, yeah, because I don't know what it is about you, but you always seem to get your way. Like, people always seem to bend to your will, and I think that it got something to do with intimidation. I was like, you think so? I was like, no, I don't think so, man. I think that, if that was the case, a lot of things that happened in life was completely out of my hands. Like, I didn't have any say so or anything. They just happened. And I think it has a lot to do with my approach, my energy, the way that I approach everything in life. It's always a positive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna figure out how I'm going to make this thing work for me. And since I can't even remember what 2000 it was. I don't know if it was 2012, 2013, but I told myself, I was like, you know what? We're going to shift our mindset. We're going to stop thinking so negative, and I'm going to approach everything that I do in a positive mindset. And when I tell you, my life since then has gotten a million times better, just because I shifted my mindset. And one thing that I would tell, I've always told everybody, my life is going to be good no matter what. I don't care what it is. I have been one of those guys that have had everything stripped and taken away from me. And even then, life was still good. Why? Because that's just the mindset that I've had. Like, yo, bro, I might not have this, that, and the third, but guess what I do got? I got this. And with that, I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna build my empire. And I understand one thing. People are going to come and go. At the end of the day, you need to understand that people are going to come and go. They're going to distance themselves from you for whatever reason. But one thing that should not change is the way that you view life. constantly grinding, constantly improving, and life is going to be better no matter what happens. You keep saying that thing long enough, and I promise you, it's going to be true. I hope that was some type of
Yeah, no, that
clarity.
was good.
But no, I definitely appreciate the questions, though. I definitely appreciate it because it kind of challenges me to kind of think a little bit, too.
Mm-hmm.
Injecting myself into the conversation. I don't do that too often. You know, I normally try to look at it from, a broader view, but sometimes we have to basically speak based on the results that we've gotten or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Kind of give something that's relatable. Yeah, like you were saying, give something that you see the results. Um, I would say also too that's that people can relate to and not just. Well, I don't know if that's just for me, but sometimes personable is more effective than generalizing it. And sometimes generalization does actually help more than personable.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. That's what's
Um, Kobe, Kobe, you have anything else you would like to say?
Nah, we good over here.
Cool.
cool.
Kizzy, you have anything else you would like to say?
Nah, man, I think that's pretty much it for the day, man. I think that this was a fantastic conversation, and I do appreciate everybody that got a chance to tap in, man. I think again we'll keep you guys posted. I guess next week we'll see how things go, because the thing about stuff like this, man, it could be like a little hoax. Somebody could, because she got a lot, like she said in one of her other interviews, I got a lot of stuff that's coming up. And this could be a way to kind of like blow up the spot or whatever, to help gain a little bit more attention, publicity, or whatever. So we'll just stick around and see what happens. And yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate all the comments, man, all the engagement, and also checking that person or all them people that was commenting. I appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. But yeah, again, I encourage y'all, man. Listen, if you are in a dead end friendship, relationship, business, or whatever, then you're going to have to distance yourself. But before you do that, make sure you do some self-reflection, because I'm not telling anybody to stay, anywhere where, you know what I mean. Yeah, you ain't got to stay. Make sure we point that out before we get into these sponsors.
Huh?
What Kobe say?
No, that was me.
Oh,
I was saying, but do the work first. I've always been an advocate of looking within first. Is your perspective. You can only really change the way that you look, respond, and act. Well, not react, but act to things.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, people. Again, man, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. Appreciate all the comments. With that being said, man, y'all be blessed, y'all be beautiful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
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 A huge shout out to Magic Mind for sponsoring today's podcast. All right, guys. So y'all know that I am extremely busy, always on the go. And Magic Mind is actually a company that has been getting a lot of buzz. I believe even Joe Rogan said something about it on his podcast.
Got a new one that they sent me called Magic Mind, and it's nootropics along with lion's mane and a bunch of functional mushrooms, and I like that one too.
So the company Magic Mind actually reached out to me, and I was like, you know what? Let's check them out. So I looked at a few of the reviews and everything online.
My first day on Magic Mind, I definitely noticed a big difference right off the bat. I noticed all the way throughout the day feeling much sharper, clear in the head, and ready to rock.
That's probably the most valuable thing. You know, as a knowledge worker, as someone who's working in front of the computer all day, you need that time where you're focused. And Magic Mind is a thing that really seemed to work for me.
So between some of the reviews that I've seen online, which was actually all positive, a lot of positive reviews online from their website, and also seen a few different reviews on YouTube. And the story was actually pretty interesting. So about a decade ago, James was on a stretcher because James was running a company. So, you know, with that, a lot of stress, he was drinking a lot of caffeine, and it turns out his heart had been beating at 175 beats for the last 3 weeks. Didn't even know it. So he was basically diagnosed with a heart condition because of all of that stress and that caffeine. At the time, he didn't have any other solutions, so he actually came up with one. So a few years ago, James actually came up with Magic Mind. This is supposed to be a natural way to help you out with a lot of those things that we struggle with throughout the day. So when it comes to Magic Mind, it's supposed to have a lot of those natural ingredients. So it has a lot of things that's going to help with focus, things that's going to help with energy. And a lot of us honestly need that throughout the day. And you also use Magic Mind for less stress throughout the day. So after reading those reviews and hearing and listening to his story, I messaged Magic Mind back and I was like, you know what? Send me some over. I'm curious. They end up sending some stuff over and I tried it out for the first day. And this is how that went. All right, guys, the time now is about 5:53 p.m. I get up early in the morning, man, so I'm a little bit on the drain side. And I have a podcast that I'm going to be doing at 11 tonight. Now, I don't want to take any naps because I still have a lot of work that I need to get done. So what we're going to do is we are going to try Magic Mind for the first time, all right? So I don't know if you're supposed to shake these things, but I'm going to shake it up, and then we're gonna try it. First time trying Magic Mind, all right? I'm gonna give a little bit of time for it to kick in before 11, so we'll see. Whew. Whew. Man, that's a strong taste. Good grief. Whoa. Okay. All right. To be honest with you, it was strong like while I was tasting, but I believe that's something that I can probably get used to. I believe that's something I can actually get used to. Man, I don't know if, you know, it was the taste or what, but I do feel a lot more alert. And I'm telling you, that thing will wake you up. The taste, it will wake you up. So for you to see all of the real benefits and stuff from Magic Mind, they recommend that you use it at least for 5 days before you really get a feel for how well that thing works. I haven't made it to that point just yet. I'm only a day in, but I will give you guys an update a little bit later on to let you know how this journey has been for me. But there will be a link down in the description below for you guys to go and check out Magic Mind. Once you guys do order, y'all please tap in, comment down, and let us know how Magic Mind worked for you. All right? Until the next time, man, y'all be blessed, y'all be beautiful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Blueberry, Burberry, button-up. Tan skin, mixed race, buttercup. Canada weather, got a bundle up. I'm tryna work, she hit my phone, she wanna. Whoa.